Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Last we left off, Wolfgang was breaking out in a cold sweat in his car over an artifact that he found, while also calling the werewolves to see if they had a silent strider that could talk to the dead. The cairn has other ideas.
Other ideas. Oh, fun.
You see, one of the reasons why I was like, we could have Wilhelm come in, is because regardless of whichever tribe Wilhelm picks, they can be like, well, we don't have a silent strider, but we have this. Holds up a mangy dog. We got this. Do you want it? We don't want it right now. We're dealing with other things.
We found this on the side of the road. It's your problem now. Don't like it too bad.
Hi, they found me in a dumpster.
Hi, I possibly murdered someone, and it's their problem, and now they're gonna make it your problem. I work
Why do you
in
want a
customer.
silent strider? We have silent striders at home.
The silent strider at home.
No. See, they took Silent Strider a little too literally. They just found a dog that walks that doesn't talk.
And it is indeed Thaedric. Hello, Hunter.
Key says hello, Hunter.
But yes, let's see, what would it be? I guess you would get a call back from Beats Dusk. Because I think that you had you called Beats to see if they can get you in contact with the Silent Strider. And I guess very likely some time has passed. I think you guys were heading to the mall. It has been a while.
Yeah, we were getting back into getting Dirk some clothes and shit and just snooping around.
Yep.
Because we had sussed out the people, and it was just more wanting to we were going around areas that were some of the higher populated areas that like the people had gone missing from. So like, you know, the mall and things like that, where people were getting directed to, and then, you know, several days later, even if they weren't necessarily going missing at the mall, just it was getting ears in those areas to see if anyone was talking about anything like that.
Oh yeah, like the documents that you were given that I totally made in the amount of time that I had. Totally. You could tell that a lot of the people were taking fairly normal routes. They weren't like none of their paths were designed to be like, ah, and then it goes into the alleyway, and then they just suddenly disappeared when doing this path. It was just like, oh yeah, they go here, they take the freeway, they reach the mall, they deliver the package, they take the freeway back, and it's done.
Hmm.
But I would say about an hour into the mall, you will get a call back from Beats.
And I mean, Wolfgang would answer, and I'm hoping you've got some good news for me.
Well, it depends on your definition of good news. We have someone who we've been told is going to help you. They may not have the skills that you requested or that you would need. However, honestly, the elders don't want to deal with it right now, and they're a good person.
So
And
hang on, let me get this straight. You've been told that there's an extra pair of hands helping us. Like I guess the better way of putting it, you've been voluntold to babysit, or I've been voluntold to babysit.
more or less, this person is kind of also there to protect Dirk, who is blood related to some of us. Not any of us here, but the elders kind of don't want a kinfolk among absolute strangers, and so they're sending a fairly fresh werewolf your way.
I mean, I'm not going to say no to, extra help, but you understand where I'm coming from.
Oh, I know. It. Trust me, werewolf politics. If it was more wolf and less politics, it'd be a lot better. I don't like how this is either, but you can tell that he has like he still has quite a bit of an annoyance to the elders in his voice as he is explaining this. I guess where would you like to meet him?
Um, well, that's the problem. At the mall at the moment, and I don't know how much help us going back to the warehouse today is going to be.
We could ask him if he can go to the warehouse, or not the warehouse, the mall.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. Uh, Beats is going to call you Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you remember how the elder requested that you assist some people.
I think he used harsher language than that, but yes, that was the gist of it, I think.
Um, you know where the mall is, right?
Uh the big one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
They are there. If you are able to get there. If not, I understand, but
I should be able to make it over there, but who am I looking for exactly?
uh, the one person is really big and they kind of have cracks on their face, and the other one looks like they came straight out of a black and white noir movie.
Ah, good. I see that they're very good at blending in.
They are much better at blending in than some of the other folk.
That's wow.
Don't worry, we just call it cosplaying when it gets really bad.
I I can't imagine that works 100% of the time, but all right, I'll make my way up there.
From my knowledge, Fey magic kind of protects them somewhat. Otherwise, they would show what they actually look like, or so I'm told. And what they actually look like, I believe, would be uh, worse.
So are they not actually a big dude and a black and white noir detective, or
No, that's what they look like. I don't know what they actually look like, but that's what they will look like at the mall.
there's he can hear some like tapping on the other end of his phone, like he's kind of wrapping his fingers on something. Is it rude to ask?
I don't know. I'm curious myself.
All right. I'll just play it safe. I'll see if I can find him.
If nothing else, call me and I'll call them. And
I mean, have you considered giving me their phone number?
why? He gives you their phone number.
All right, I'll
Understand.
Congratulations, Victor is the only person with a single brain cell.
Understand. Beats is an Arun, kind of being shoved into the Philodox status.
Also, definitely not a glasswalker.
He's a Fianna.
Hmm.
So he may or may not have been too busy being an Arun to really think a lot of things through. And with the Philodox dead, the brains of their party is gone.
Oh no, that's unfortunate. I'm sure they'll make it.
That's what
All
they
right.
hope.
All right, then I'll be sure to call him when I get up there. Then.
Good. If you need anything, you can call us.
I will probably. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I will drive to the mall.
The mall is driven to. It is like, as long as you're not trying to like speed or do anything ridiculous, you don't need to roll. It's just you drive to the mall.
All right, I arrive at the mall. I get out. I will call the number that was given to me by Beats.
Which I would presume would be mine.
That is
Maybe,
correct.
I don't know. I was given a phone number. I wasn't told who it goes to.
Which is wonderful because now there is an unknown number ringing Wolfgang. We'll just pick it up and. How can I help you?
Are you the big guy or the noir detective?
I'm guessing you're the help that was voluntold to come and help us.
Yes, that is absolutely what I am. I believe that I believe the word that I heard whispered was burden.
Welcome to the club. We've got jackets.
Oh, that's fantastic. Are they nice jackets? They're warm.
I wish.
Well, at any rate, I'm here to meet you, and I'm reasonably certain this mall takes up like 40,000 square feet. I can just go walking and looking around for you, but I feel like it'd be better if you just told me where you were.
So here's the thing.
You do
And,
know where
like-
you are, right?
Wolfgang's gonna like take him and he's gonna like take the phone away from his ear and he's just gonna look around and just like to himself, where the fuck am I?
As someone who has not been to that mall in what is it, 20 years, I barely remember the layout.
If you've been to one mall, you've seen most of them. So
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say
that's also the problem.
you probably are near the food court, TM.
You know what? I hope you're hungry. Come grab a bite. It's on me.
Ah, man, that'd be fantastic if it wasn't food court food. I'm pretty sure that's like 90% grease by volume, but you know what? I'll take it. I will close my phone and make my way toward the food court.
Ask an horror detective where they are. An horror detective, you know what? Good question. I have no idea.
Look, he's a detective. He's a paranormal detective. He never said that he was a good one.
He's kind of a lethal company employee. He kind of
Hmm.
has to meet his quota or else he gets shot out of the airlock.
Oh, I see. That's unfortunate.
And his fear is whatever artifact he's going to be giving the company might shoot him out of the airlock.
Look, he's not keen on going home tonight.
You would find
I
them
mean,
with
yeah,
relative
I was going to ask
ease.
you. Yeah, I was
Like,
going to ask if
it-
you wanted me to roll or anything for that.
No, like you are a person who I am assuming has lived in this city for a while.
Yeah.
So like you if you got even a little lost, you could just look at the map, but you probably know where the food court is.
Well, no, I was meaning if it was more about like trying to pick him out from a crowd or something.
I think Dirk himself would be quite easy to
There's
Big
the one with the
dude, noir
cracked
detective.
face.
you
Like,
just-
you sort of like it'd be kind of like, you know, trying to find the great Carly in a crowd. Just you've got like all these normal people and then dude.
Yep. You just walk into a room, you're like, oh, yep, nope, that's the one.
I will I'll make my way over to him. I do have a question out of character. Is Wolfgang actually grayscale in real life, or is that not true?
No, Wolfgang. I mean, like, I did send you the art,
Yeah.
didn't I?
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
you've sent it to
like gray hair. He like noir get up, like simple white, like simple clean white shirt. He doesn't wear a lot of color.
Okay.
Just every time I look at him, there's these bars that come over my vision that just make it dark and hard to see.
Do you hear a saxophone?
Suddenly I feel broody, as if
Why is there suddenly a narrator in my ear talking about just honestly talking about someone lost in an alley? Nonsense.
I take it you were the one I'm looking for then.
Wolfgang will stand and run around it. I would imagine. Wolfgang.
I'm
Pleasure.
Victor.
Well, howdy,
Victor.
cousin.
Oh, you must be the family kinfolk
Kinfo.
that they asked me to keep watch out for.
Yeah, you seem pretty fresh, but
That is yes, that is accurate.
things have changed a bit since I was last around, so not
Have you-
used to someone your age being new to this.
I understand that that's the common sentiment back at the apparently they get mad if I call it a golf course. Which is unfortunate because it looks very much like a golf course, but apparently it is not one.
it is a golf course. It's just it's also a front for the Cairn. It's like going to like a mafia pizza parlor and being like, at the pizza parlor. And it's like, this isn't the pizza parlor section of it. The pizza parlor's in the front.
How'd you even get back here?
Well, I ordered a pizza and it didn't come out right. I wanted to complain to the manager. They sent me back here. Anyway, I ordered pepperoni, but I got mozzarella and tomatoes instead, which was good, but I still kind of want the pepperoni.
And
And then
they
I get shot 37 times.
they'd just
Only 37.
apologize, give you the pepperoni pizza, and be like, we're so sorry. Here. Now, don't speak about this to anyone.
Oh, but it's a really good pizza.
Oh, no, you can speak about the pizza. Don't speak about what goes on behind the doors.
I'm not allowed. Is it a secret pizza recipe?
More secret than the Krusty Krab burger.
Whoa.
My brain just flatlined at Krabby Patty.
there you go. But yeah. So why are we at the mall?
Well, we've got the joy of trying to get him to fit back into society, which change of clothes does everyone good. And look, I get it from everyone. Yes, I did step out of a black and white television to get here.
Huh.
A change of clothes does everyone good, he says to the werewolf who just finished a rite where he can't change his clothes for a month or so.
He doesn't know that. Wolfgang's never personally had a problem with like changing and clothes and all that nonsense. It's clothes. You put them on.
Wait, are you actually out of a black and white film, or is that a better? Or is that still a joke? Like I was recently made aware that a lot of magical bullshit is real, which has opened up a real deep dark well, and now I'm not sure when people are telling jokes or being sarcastic.
The funny part is I'm both telling the truth and being sarcastic.
It is.
So, like, are you actually from like the 40s or something?
Around then, yes.
Oh. Well, I'm so sorry you have to see the world like this now. I suppose it can't be much worse than World War II.
Just like you. He's like, tell me about it. People have semi-automatic weapons.
They had semi-autos in World War II. Come on, the 1911's been around since 1911.
Yep. Yes, but look, you get what I'm getting at.
Oh man, you think that's bad? Have you heard of an ICBM?
In case I bloody missed it.
No, that's not what it stands for.
Just like there's this blank expression. It's just like in case bloody miss.
Yes, I know. That's not what it stands for. It means intercontinental ballistic missile.
Intercontinental, in case you bloody miss. I feel like it serves the same purpose.
No, there's no missing with this thing. It'll wipe out an entire city all at once. If you miss that, you hit the wrong side of the damn planet.
That's a terrifying concept, and I think I was better off not knowing that.
No, it's great. The modern era is full of modern man-made horrors beyond our comprehension. It's great. You get used to it.
Yeah, it's not like there's a looming apocalypse or anything that's needing to be stopped, but we can deal with that a bit later.
Let's be fair. If they destroy everything, the apocalypse isn't the problem.
I'm pretty sure apocalypses do destroy everything. It's just the nature of the apocalypse that's different between them. Right now, we're dealing with an environmental one where pollution from over the past couple hundred years since the Industrial Revolution's kind of like destroying the ecosphere and making water toxic and air toxic, and you get cancer just by breathing too close to some stuff now. You don't smoke, do you?
I was about to say the next thing you're going to tell me is that cigarettes kill.
Yeah, they do, actually. Painfully, too.
As Dirk is probably like, I see why Mother Gaia made him one of the warriors.
I was just thinking that. I was just saying Dirk is going to be like, God, they'll just let anyone be a Garou these days, You watch one documentary and suddenly poof.
Poof, you become fluffy, and it's like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, I'm thankful for everybody in the fight, but yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
So while we're here, do you need anything yourself, Victor? I will be fronting costs for it.
He's got a charge card. It's great.
I mean, I don't really want to take advantage of you, though I do appreciate the offer.
Believe you me, it's taking advantage of nothing.
What, are you loaded?
I'm not, but yes,
Do you steal it?
not quite.
That's not very reassuring, but all right. No, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head that I would need right now.
It's one of those instances you're safer if you don't know. The simple answer is it's clean money. Yes, I am loaded. It's not my money, but it's clean money.
All right, you're either in the mob or you're a politician.
He's just going to like gesture at his clothes.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it could really go either way. I mean, like, you just you do fit the bill for, like, you should probably be telling someone they'll be sleeping with the fishes while you rattle them with a Tommy gun, but
And
I don't
last
think
but
that.
not least, my favorite.
I believe
However, if you were actually in the mob, I don't think you'd be quite so flamboyantly about that.
Pretty sure that's half of what being in the mob is about.
I think it depends on the mob, actually.
I can confirm it does depend on the mob. Did you ever hear of Johnny Two Shoes?
No.
Probably a bit before your time then.
I mean, I would imagine that any reference you've got for me is going to be before my time.
All you need to know
Just
is that Wolfgang's money doesn't have the same problem that Al Capone had. So don't worry about it.
Oh, the taxes are all paid on it. Is that right? So,
I feel like Wolfgang's just in the middle of an existential crisis. Like,
so
it was fun in games, and then it's just like, yeah, no, all of my references are wow.
So, did I just get sent up here to help you shop, or is there like actually something happening?
you would have been told that it is to figure out why people have been going missing.
Okay.
And the information that I will gladly give you, where the acoustics are a little more accommodating to that sort of thing.
All right then, I'll follow you.
Now we have the problem. We drove here. I'm presuming you drove here as well.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really think that through.
Well,
Why did I get you to come here? Just like on his way out, it's just like, man, I'm a fucking idiot.
So, what?
So
I don't know. I'm not sure I understand what the problem is.
Oh, it's less of a problem, and it's just more. I've just had you come here, and I'm now walking out with Dirk, and there's now another individual joining us following out. We haven't been in there that long, so if anyone's watching us, they're now aware of the fact that you're with us.
Well,
Okay.
you did offer our new friend here a meal, so maybe he could take some time to eat while we head out.
You know what? Good point.
Is there still a Sbarro's around here? The ones with the gigantic pizza slices?
I don't know. Is there?
I would.
Okay.
Let's see, Sparrows. I will just say yes. Sparrows.
I love that. Like Victor's like, oh boy, greasy food in the food court. Pizza.
It's pizza though.
Is it?
I'm gonna complain about grease and then go get grease covered cardboard.
Listen, it's hard to fuck up a pizza. The barbecue place, that's easy to fuck up. The sandwich place, that meat's been sitting out all day. Pizza, you gotta work to fuck up a pizza.
You kind of do.
You kind of do. I
You
mean,
can make an
point.
excellent pizza, sure. And it's hard to make an excellent pizza, but to get like a below average pizza, you kind of have to fuck up the ingredients.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd argue that Sal's does a very good job of making excellent pizza.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that like it's hard to make an excellent pizza, but it's not hard to make an average pizza. Like it's hard to make an excellent pizza. It's hard to make a below average pizza, but like pizza kind of balances that average. Pizza's
There's
a
a
safe
Chinese
option.
place over there. I had Chinese once and I regretted it for a week. Not doing that again.
See, that just sounds like your kids these days just aren't built the same.
I'm sorry. There's not quite the same amount of lead in the paint as there used to be. It's made us weak.
Yeah, no. I'm like it's a case of like if Victor like actually is going to go off and get pizza, like Wolfgang will just hand him 50, like without even a second thought, and just keep fucking off in the direction he's going. Like,
I mean, if you want me to, lag behind here and beat you at the next place. By the way, you should probably let me know what the next place actually is.
did I ever mention that I'm you get so used to working with people that know the ins and outs of you, or being associated with people that know the ins and outs of you.
Okay, so you're not used to telling people where you're going to be?
No, they go
Right.
like usually get phone calls. Be here at X time,
Oh,
or else.
yeah, that does sound very mob-like activity.
Flashbacks of Beats calling Victor. All right, can you go to the mall right now?
Yeah, but that happened once.
First of many.
That is fair, Muffin. Frozen
I
pizza.
mean, it'd be getting relatively late in the evening, yeah.
Yeah, I will say that it is probably around 5 p.m. at this point. Easy.
I mean, we've got.
Let me put
Oh, for God's sakes, I know they had street addresses in the 40s. Just give me where you want me to show up and I'll be there in an hour later.
Well, it's just more. I'm thinking there's a couple places we could go. The easiest place is probably back to my place.
And
If
your
we're all supposed
place
to work
is...
together.
My place is located at the apartments at the aforementioned address by the DM.
Yeah, just he gives you the address, and it sounds very addressy. It's something that you like. You would understand. Like you would probably be like, oh yeah, I've heard of that street before. Never really thought much of it.
Oh yes,
yes,
this is indeed the place.
Yes, I'm reasonably certain that this is a place that genuinely exists.
Might have popped in 5 minutes ago from a black and white TV. Might not have. Don't know. Kind of
All
not
right.
sure what to believe.
Look, it's again, you get too used to people knowing the ins and outs about you, and you just forget things exist, like residential addresses and functioning in society.
Meanwhile, Victor's the only person here who has a stable job.
Stable job is probably an overstatement.
Well, I mean, you've got
I
working.
don't know. I feel like Wolfgang has got a pretty stable job. There's people dying left and right at the moment.
Yeah, and Dirk's job is literally be kinfolk.
That is true.
That's it.
But-
Do what needs to be done.
Well, I mean, you have one job where you need to take care of like really whiny, needy people, and then you have like dealing with the Fae.
Largely interchangeable.
Largely interchangeable. On a scale of 1 to 10, how addressy is this address? I need you to roll for wisdom.
I'm sorry, what?
Muffin, on a scale of 1 to 10, how addressy is this address?
Oh boy.
He is
Who
not wrong. He
was
would be
whatting and whatting?
Well, as I understand it, you are going to go to your place, and I was going to have a pizza and then go to your place so that we aren't seen together outside of the mall. Never mind that we've been standing here having a long conversation in a large crowd within the mall. But I'm sure the guy is outside in the not coming into the largely public space filled with people and crowds.
Hey, look. This might seem stupid, but people are stupid.
Oh man, trust me, I work customer service. I know exactly how stupid some people can be.
Valid. And Wolfgang is just going to turn and just stop walking. Just like the whole Nathan Fillion like speechless thing of it's just like, fair point. Just
Anyway, you have fun.
You
By the
enjoy
way,
that
most
pizza?
cars are automatic transmissions now, so that should be easy.
I don't drive.
That'd be
Oh.
my job.
Yeah, that's his job.
The werewolf kinfolk is the one driving the detective around. I'm really happy I drove myself here. I'm gonna go get some more pizza.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Yep, happy to see you.
To be fair, you would know that the kinfolk typically are very good at their job.
Typically. But, there's one in every family.
Oh no.
And it's currently behind the wheel. How do I drive with paws? I can't do this. I don't have opposable thumbs.
Just sums up Wilhelm's cyberpunk driving experience.
Listen, the cars have like no traction. They slide all over the place. It's like the entire everything is made of ice.
It's the exact opposite of GTA 4. Like, GTA 4 is, oh, you want to round that corner? Are you stationary? Cyberpunk is, yes, you've hit that lip. Prepare to do like a, full 720 spin and then wrap around the corner.
Mm-hmm. And then the lamp.
Oh, always the lamp. There's always a lamp in the way.
I was fairly proud of not hitting anybody in Cyberpunk until today. I think I hit like 2 or 3 people.
I've hit many people, don't worry. Usually it's not actually me hitting them, it's me forcing a car to floor it, and then they hit someone while flooring it. But I feel like the police blame it on me, so I guess it's my fault.
I mean, yes, that is typically how that works. You are the one who hit the gas pedal.
Well,
even if it was remotely.
Fair. Okay.
Basic human decency has a point, because in the future everything is smooth and sleek,
Mhm.
even the roads and the tires.
I would argue against that, but I mean, look at 2024 and where we're meant to be now.
What is that?
What?
That
Me
sounds like
locking
doors.
That
Oh.
that sound that's locking doors, yeah.
doors?
Locking doors, or if you go to pull on if you go to open a door that's locked, it'll make a
Hmm.
similar sound saying that it's locked.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I may or may not have been fast creating a doing all the layout of this, and like obviously Wolfgang will be able to unlock doors. Although
Oh
it
yeah,
said
naturally.
Hopefully.
It'd be very concerning if he was not able to open up the doors to his own apartment. You've been evicted. Goodbye.
you've been evicted. No, you just like it's Faye. You would open up the door and it would lead to outer space, and it'd be like you got fired.
Open up the door.
No,
It's just a brick wall.
you get to the door, goes to open the door. Color would somehow appear in his cheeks to fade from his cheeks when it doesn't open. Just full Technicolor and then back to black and white. But yeah, Wolfgang will lead. Well, since Dirk's with him, he's gonna lead you, down the apartment or down the hallway, and
All
to
right.
the. I mean, there's 2 doors here. Obviously, there's more doors. I was lazy. I'm just gonna open it up, and yes, there's color, there's technology. Come in, make yourself at home.
You could have cut out the color by saving it in printer friendly mode.
Oh, I know, I could have, but I feel like that's half the joke.
I don't know what doors are supposed to be locked and which are supposed to be unlocked, so I was
Anything on the left-hand side locked. Anything on the right-hand side open.
okay.
It's pretty sweet digs you got here.
And it's a double apartment. It's one of those things where people aren't overly happy when they find that people are still in talks with a gantry and everything else. I have the life that I do because of mine, and because of that, there are certain luxuries I'm afforded to continue doing work in the manner that I do. It make yourself at home, couch, TV. There should be food in the fridge, coffee, whatever. And Wolfgang is just gonna step over here briefly and
I will unlock that door for you.
thank you. And he's just gonna step into his office momentarily, and just this is more like Wolfgang has, because he's got extra papers and shit that he'll have had from the crap that he was given when he was first given this job. All the note, basically, this is me just going, yeah, he's going to take the time now to organize the notes that he was given from I've forgotten her name,
Claire.
Claire. So he's just going to take the minute to organize the notes that he's got from Claire, the notes that he's made himself, the observations, that sort of shit, and he's just going to store it and organize it, manage it, because he is paranoid about just shit not being where it should be. He's particular.
And that's why he's the investigator.
For now.
Could investigate getting some more furnishings in this place. It's pretty Spartan.
Nah, you should see the way that I build my maps. Those are Spartan. Oh wait, we saw that the other day. Yeah. Wow, that dead person's still on the floor too. Wonderful.
Geez, someone should clean that up. Just
Let me
Oh, I wonder where I left him.
let me go ahead.
Yeah,
I
like
will
it,
clean that guy up.
it'd be like he'd probably only be in there like maybe 10, 15 minutes, and he'd just come back out and sort of make his way over and just sit himself down because he can. So, where we're sitting currently, I should wait until Victor gets here so I'm not repeating this twice. But also, fuck it.
Hey,
Was it me or did the informant, Finn, did he query you whether or not that your kind could talk to the dead or not? Or adjacent to your kind could, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He did ask about that. Seemed a bit concerned, if you ask me. But
The problem is none of them have been reported dead.
until now, I didn't actually think about that. That's a good point.
From what Claire told us, the only people that have been brought up, or at least the only instances of people being brought up, are missing. So,
Could just be his nerves. Maybe he thinks the worst. But
well, could be, but this is also one of the first instances from memory that we've also got a noted body.
fair.
since it has been a while, I will inform you that yeah, this is the first time that you know that there has been a body. Most of the time, they just go missing.
But yeah, so I think that I don't know. It just doesn't feel like they're the ones who would do something like this. Don't you think it's a little bit on the nose?
Well, no, I mean, like, I'm not saying necessarily that he's done it. I'm more worried about the fact that he knows who did, which makes him a target.
Hmm. Do you think we should tell Claire about this, or
I'm of two minds. I feel like we should, but there's also the problem that if we bring notification to Claire and she says something and it goes by the wrong person, we tip them off on the whole investigation.
yeah, well, if someone is watching us to see what we're doing, then they'd know we talked to them.
True. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. I mean, at the worst, I could call her, but
Well, why don't
like,
we wait till Victor gets here?
you know
Because
what? Not a horrible idea.
yeah,
yeah, however long it takes me to get there.
You are there. You are at the locked door. Do the two doors have two different addresses on them?
Yep, that's why I went to the first one there. I will knock at the door.
Wolfgang's just gonna, you know, one of these days, clearly, I'll give them the right address. Wrong door, but come on in.
All right. Victor's got a small bag. It's just filled with like 5 different lint rollers. I had to make I decided I should stop on the way. I did think of something, but it wasn't expensive. So hi.
Lint rollers?
Yes, lint rollers.
They're more common than you might think.
You paranoid about dust or what?
Do you know how much shed comes off a wolf? Now imagine one that's like 10 feet tall.
Like I said, they come in handy.
I only recently learned about this.
By all means. Actually, that would bring a fair point. That would mean that there's fur around the apartment. Fucking think of that.
Well, unless Wolfgang walks around unmasked, no.
Oh, well, I'm perfect. Don't worry about it then. It's fine. Nothing to worry about. Kitchen, couch, restrooms there to the left. The further door back. First door's my room. Make yourself at home. This side, don't worry about it. It's not your problem at the moment. Then it will be, and then don't worry about it.
Ah, well, that sounds ominous. Marvelous. Fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, welcome to this part of life. Everything's ominous. You get used to it.
Good. Good.
Enjoy spending the rest of your life with an eye glanced over your shoulder and a knife poised at your
Yay.
back. Yay. So, to fill you in on where we are, what we're doing, this, that, and everything else, I do have notes, and you'll have access to them in a moment. We're currently investigating missing persons. I'm sure you've been at least told that much.
Mhm.
Someone is doing away with these people. For the most part, they're all vanishing. There have been no bodies, except for yesterday or the day before. No, today.
It was today,
Wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, it's this
Today.
morning.
Yeah, except for this morning. But all we can put it down to is the fact that they were spooked and didn't have the time to go about it with the usual means that they did, because werewolves were already going to provide protection to the individual that is now deceased.
And who was the individual?
That was
Tim.
Tim. Thank you. I have it in my notes somewhere.
It,
Timothy.
it
I-
has been a while, so
Yes. As far as we can tell, he knew people were watching him, or he was doing investigations into the people that we now have as a list of potential suspects. And he was very old-fashioned, called Claire, who is the person that he reports to, on a landline, and asked for some protection. By the time the protection got there, he was already dead. Now, we're not necessarily ruling out that there was a bug or anything in the office to determine whether or not they listened into the conversation. If anything, because the phone was a dial phone, and yes, I'm old-fashioned, we've got this. I'm more wondering if they were tapping the line itself to hear when a call was going out to confirm that he was home.
as a side note, it was also a rotary phone. So it's very easy to tell who he was calling.
Yeah, but like the moral of the story is like he could have still called anyone else. Like it's connected to a phone line, but I'm suspecting that people were listening to the lines itself more for him being there, so that they knew that they could move in without moving in, so to speak. We've ruled out a couple of people already, mostly because there was no elemental residue that would have been left by the elementals that were working at the warehouse that were in that list. With me so far.
I think so. This is the only one that's come up dead.
This is the only one that's come up dead.
So
How
far.
many were there? So how many have there been so far?
We don't have a definitive number.
From the
That's the
notes
problem.
you were given, roughly, like at least 50 people have gone missing over about a year.
Holy shit. Okay.
yeah, it's a big problem. That's why Claire's like, oh shit, people are going missing. People are going. That is why she is calling. That's why she called your Gentry to help, and why your Gentry sent you is because she's like, well, I wouldn't normally call one of these for help, but hot damn, this is an issue.
Well, apparently there's 50 across the year, which... Are people really that paranoid about Gentries?
Fuck. That's a lot of.
Yes, from your experience with changelings, Wolfgang. Yes.
Yes.
Think about how you felt when you found out that those rings can summon a Gentry.
Yeah, well, I mean, fair. So the only real evidence that we have is the corkboard of a lunatic and him calling everyone the person that's doing it. There was some valid points on it, but there's also a lot of hearsay. There's nothing concrete in anything that he had. We did find a pair of rings that were bound together. I've sent them off to be looked at properly because apparently they're a fake contract of some description. And that concerns me because the individual that put up for that contract is now dead. And that's never a good thing.
I'm guessing then that all the people who's gone missing are recent returners like you.
Well,
Some
we
of them
still
have...
haven't found a pattern, really. Not in
Yeah,
any
no,
of the
like
victims.
Well, I suppose
The-
my question is like, are regular people getting hit by this, or is it just?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh.
no. It's anyone. There's no... Like, it's not that it's only new people. It's not that it's only, like, long-standing people. There's no, like, weight between male and female. It's... At the moment, the only common thread is that, at least in this case, with the ones that we're looking into, there's a lot of people that are going missing from the same workplace. But, like, this isn't one-off. Like, it's not just there that's having it happen, if that makes sense.
What's the workplace?
It's a warehouse.
Warehouse connected to our freehold.
A freehold?
Yeah, it's our version of a cairn now.
Okay.
And if you need
So-
description on what a Karen is, I can give you one because you would know that, Victor.
I think I've got a rough idea. That's a place of like spiritual energy, right?
It's the golf course.
It's the golf course. Don't call it a golf course, though.
Don't call it a golf course in front of them, but it's a golf course.
A spade is a spade, but don't call it a spade. Yeah, so...
You said they
even
were all out of that one warehouse?
majority of them were, yes. Correct, Key?
Yeah, it was either people from that warehouse or people who were changelings who went through that warehouse. Like, because they, as far as you can tell, when they pick up changelings from the hedge who are essentially lost, they give them the option of, do you want to work at the warehouse with other changelings, or do you want to try your luck at living a normal life? And so some of those people have been going missing. Some normal people who are associated with them have been going missing. Some people who actually work there have been going missing.
The only one who wasn't really connected to it was Timothy, who was just investigating the disappearances on his own.
Because his
mean,
wife
he's-
went missing, or his
Yeah,
fiance
because
went missing.
his fiance went missing.
Mhm.
He worked at the warehouse, and that's Like he took it upon himself to look into it because no one else was, and well, look where that got him.
And how far back was that?
Timothy or his wife? His wife was about a year ago, I want to say. Timothy
Okay.
was today.
Yeah.
Today.
His wife was one of the first ones.
And like to the point that so my best guess, if I had to, I specialize in occult and things like that. That's kind of why they pulled me in, because who can you trust other than someone that sort of knows the ins and outs of this sort of stuff to look into things of this nature? If I had to guess, it was so the two wedding rings were bound by thread, and if I had to guess, effectively what we were looking at was a charm of some description, and I will get confirmation on this whether or not I was correct or what it was, but effectively I think what happened was he was looking for a way to find them, and if he managed to find his wife, the two of them put the rings on, pull the thread, and if my suggestion is correct, or my suspicion is correct more to the point, his gantry shows up, causes havoc, they get out of there. But I don't have anything concrete to say yes or no on that yet.
Huh.
In regards to the people that are working there that we have talked to, there's a handful of people, about half a dozen at the moment that we're kind of working with. There are a couple of ogres. They wouldn't. So the cause of death in this case was a bat or something that would cause blunt force trauma, because we didn't find the weapon, did we?
No.
No.
No. But we're guessing it's a bat of some description or something of that kind. So we've ruled out the two ogres that work there. They wouldn't need to use. I mean, it'd be like expecting a werewolf to use a baseball bat to bludgeon someone's face in. You have raw power. You don't need a tool to get the point across to ensure someone stops breathing. And the two elementals, well, if they'd managed to break in, they wouldn't have needed to go through a door. And had they have gone through the door, they would have left residue, like water or scorch marks, something to that nature, to give away the fact that, someone was there. So
Yeah, there was
the
no
fact that-
sign of forced entry at all.
and the locks weren't tampered with, anything like that. So we've kind of got a conundrum here, closed room murder and all that nonsense, which everyone loves.
Nothing on the windows or anything either?
No, the windows were fine. Only damage to the house was the werewolves doing what werewolves do, and they open doors with force.
And Beats had mentioned how, even with their senses, they couldn't really get anything out of place.
Not quite. So there was apparently a van that was obscured, like obscuration magic and that sort of nonsense, that was driving past a couple times while they were in there, or while we were in there. So I'm having that looked into as well. Just on the off chance that we do find a lead there as well. The
How
only
is how is he going about looking into the everything himself?
who?
Just the one who's dead.
How was
Timmy?
Timothy going into it?
Yeah.
Old-fashioned photos and like being there physically. Like I said, we had a Looney's corkboard.
Okay.
But yeah, so photos, notes, snippets from newspapers, questions, that sort of thing. Actually, I did take a photo of it before I started rummaging through it, because it's always good to have it as a reference because there might be something that he looked at that I missed, and hindsight 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what Wolfgang will do, he'll hand you his phone and he'll give you the photo to look through. But basically, one of the individuals will have like marks next to him saying that like they were talking to suspicious people. That person is a information broker.
Mhm.
I remember that there was another one who bodyguard. No, she's a bouncer at the nightclub that has photos also taken of her. She also deals in information and that sort of thing. Constantly talks to the information broker and all that sort of stuff. One of their informants, I think, from memory. Key will confirm or not.
Zara Nguyen? She is
Yes.
just she's an information collector.
She's a
Essentially,
collector, and Finn was the broker.
yeah, Finn is the broker. Zara is the one who goes around collecting information. Usually by just, being there, being in clubs, being an ear on the wall.
Yeah. And then like there's the night guard, for example, had photos of him querying like why he was around at night and that sort of stuff, and the janitor, and like you're familiar with Cluedo.
The night guard had suspicions because he has scrying magic, and that like he's a night guard. He is not built like a guard at all, but he knows where people are and when. And it's like, well, why wouldn't he know where anything is? And the janitor is like, well, he's always sniffing around.
And I guess so. Your reference when it comes to like the information that Wolfgang would have like in his office when like you go and look in his office, in the chat text or the chat channel, like just above us, Key's got some names, their race, and like the basic information on them. That was the files that like above table he was just handling and sorting and like stashing in there with everything else.
Yeah,
So
I'll pin it.
because yeah, like while he's working here and like while he's here, the room here, like pretty much straight across from you, his office, that'll be open slather. Yes, there's a mess of papers and notes and stuff. I didn't clutter it up enough, but fuck it. Like there would be a spread of information there from all the stuff that he's collected so far, as well as like what he was given initially, the folder that Claire had, and any of the observations he's made. Which I've gone over the most of it so far. But like the only other real thing is he's got a loose alibi on one labeled one called Ruby. And he was sitting there talking to Penny. And like it'll have in the notes sort of in there as well that she seemed to have a pretty clear conscience, but like not definitive yes or no. The only ones that he's like guaranteed ruled, well, not so much guaranteed ruled out, but sort of like sort of put a scratch next to their name at the very least, are the two ogres, so Carter Reynolds and Jack Reynolds, as well as the two elementals Oscar Turner and Milo Rodriguez. Because and like it's just him literally taking things on face value of no immediate sign of entry, no brute force, and a weapon was used. So the two ogres would have more than likely just pummeled him to death because that's quicker and easier, and the elementals would have left some sort of residue in some manner of speaking if they'd managed to get into the building without tampering with the locks or breaking in that way.
Yeah, like the locks had no signs of lock picking or anything of a dubious nature.
Huh.
And Wilhelm, or Victor, who has not heard of changelings and didn't really know that they also exist, is probably looking at this and being told all this and just being like, huh, okay, this world is crazier than I thought it was.
Magic exists. Holy fuck.
Just geez, yep, that deep dark well I was talking about earlier just got a little bit darker and deeper. Good, lovely.
So
It's a lot to get used to.
that's like the bare minimum at the very least to get you caught up with what you are currently involved in. Here, like I would say these 4 walls, but technically it's 8 walls because it's 2 apartments. Don't worry about it. You should be safe. Should.
That's not very reassuring, but thank you.
Anything can happen. Look, there's fucking werewolves that crawl out of televisions and shit. And
Victor's gonna turn around. Victor's gonna turn around to Dirk. Wait, we can go through TVs? That doesn't sound very werewolfy.
Yeah, well, the glasswalkers can do a lot of things, and nobody really understands it but them. So
You have a
go
phone
ask
number for
one of
them.
them.
Yeah. I have a phone number that I'm not ringing unless I absolutely need it. And
You were
if we ring the
informed.
phone,
You were informed someone big and fluffy would be coming through the line.
and
Literally.
we would be needing to get away from that phone immediately. I was told, ring the phone, throw the phone.
What, is the phone gonna explode?
No, something big and fluffy is
Yeah.
going to crawl out of it.
Oh my!
But also, it might
Wait.
explode.
You're telling me that there's a way that I might actually be able to punch somebody through a phone?
Well, that's not really how it works, as far as I understand it. But
Look, let
It-
Mr. Customer Service, and the customer's always right, have that moment for himself. We're all
I
allowed to
need-
dream.
I need to learn this.
Like this is the kid that's like, I want to be just like Superman. Just like the concept of someone getting excited over the fact that I can now reach through the phone and strangle someone should be more concerning than it actually is, and it is. However,
They
as
work
someone
in
that has
customer
worked
service.
customer service, as someone that worked customer service, man, I wish I had that power.
couldn't really ask in the mall. But what tribe are you even from? Where have they sent you to us from?
I have been interacting with they call themselves the Black Furies, which is never mind. It's the Black Furies. The one with the Gorgon.
Yeah, no, they're okay. Well, good luck talking to glasswalkers. Seriously, they're not very amenable to the anger of the Furies. But you know,
And here I was going to interrupt you and query social because the ones that we've met so far have all been socially awkward at best.
Yeah, the Furies or the Walkers.
it's
Werewolves.
werewolf politics. It's all the same.
Hmm.
Again,
What?
it's a lot to get used to, but you get used to it.
How about you? Where are you from?
Canada.
That's not what I meant.
No, I was up with my tribe. Well, it's been a long time since I've been back there now. I was gone for 10 years, so I don't even know if they're still there anymore. The cairn exists. But
That's probably a golf course.
I would hope not. But yeah, the Wendigo up there, they're good people, you know, but they weren't my people. I just happened to be up there and, you know, Dirk's just having a moment thinking about home.
And Victor, for you, when you hear Wendigo, you would remember, oh yeah, the elder that you know seemed the nicest out of all of them. They said that she was a Wendigo, or that she used to be a Wendigo, and they're like, we don't want to deal with them. But that they're called the Gale Stalkers now. And Dirk, for you, when he says that he's part of the Black Furies with Gorgon, uh, it might sound off to you because you remember it as Pegasus.
That's fair. Yeah.
But it is up to you if you say anything or not.
To be honest, I actually forgot that they had their totem changed.
That is why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how much Dirk would know about that specifically or anything. And the fact that he's a male and clearly not a metis.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, Dirk's already an outsider as being a strider, so he's not looking to get his eyes set on the Furies back then even. So
I am so glad that I am not caught up in your politics, and I'm saying that as someone that is still caught up with their fucking gentry. Ain't that ironic?
I used to get real worked up about politics in general. There, watching the news, like, oh no, this asshole's going to ruin everything. And now I've got two sets of those that I have to worry about. That one from before, where I had to worry about whoever's in the big White House in DC, and now I got to worry about
Who's
there isn't
running?
really a
Good.
there isn't really a counterpart to the White House, is there? Who's in charge of werewolf leadership?
well, when I left, it was the council with the Silver Fangs, but who knows how that's changed these days.
Hey, hang on.
Huh?
No, I'm just having a moment. Council of the Silver Fangs. Isn't that a little on the nose for werewolves, Silver?
Well,
Like that's a genuine, honest question.
well, it's only on the nose because stereotypes come from a place of truth, at least partially. And well, the Silver Fangs think that they're real, the real deal. The top dogs. Never did care for them myself. Always too haughty, too caught in their aristocratic bullshit, acting like nobles.
Aristocrats and nobles. You mean the human the werewolf counterpart of the humans that kind of caused the whole environmental breakdown thing? Those ones.
Well, I mean, if you look into our history enough, you'll find that that's one and the same. This is partially our fault. Too busy with our own politics screwing shit up.
And the moral of the story was werewolves suck.
No, vampires suck. Werewolves scratch.
But see, that's the fun thing is the werewolves screwed everything up and the vampires screwed their things up and the Fae screwed everything else up. Everything's just screwed up.
I'm feeling significantly less optimistic about this whole battle for Armageddon that I've been told about. I'm sorry, battle for the apocalypse that I've been hearing so much about.
Look, it'll be fine. Either you live to worry about it or you won't.
Yep, just do what you can to help, and that's all you can really do, which is why we have you here. We need your help.
And I don't mean to like palm it off as like, because it is a genuine concern that you have, but I don't want to say you get desensitized to it. you kind of do. Like it's just one of those instances where if shit goes bang, you're probably not even gonna know.
I'm surprised
That's
you still have your day job, knowing everything you do now.
it's been a challenge. They're very forgiving.
The Karen isn't happy about it or the fact that you're still in touch with your family.
Shut up, God.
I'm giving you like a little information about like they're like, no, you need to cut ties. No, you need to cut ties. No, what'll happen to
that's-
Howard?
just like we've got the very stereotypical husky moment going on, like where you're trying to tell him something and all you're just getting back is just howling in response.
I can't hear you.
Pretty much.
I mean, no, of course I'm not going to turn my back on my family. Just fucking, I show up there, they got real mad. Oh, we don't know who you are. Why would you deal with you? You got pawn me off to some Fae problem, and oh no, by the way, you also have to get rid of your entire life beforehand. Why? These fucking assholes don't even seem to even want to deal with me.
I'll be honest, they're probably hoping that you get erased in the time that you're here. Now, that's just me being a pessimist, but you made comment about the mafia.
That's fair.
Welcome in.
Yay.
To be fair, the elder who sent you here seemed genuinely trying to get you out of the mess with the politics that are going on at the Cairn right now. And they're like, maybe getting you wrapped up in this and being like, see, he can help. He has the knowledge and the power. He doesn't need to cut everything out.
Yet. But yeah, I said the same thing to Dirk while I was there. Kitchen's there, coffee, milk, beer, whatever the fuck you want. I'm sure you're going to tell me that beer's trying to kill you now. It's alcohol,
What?
of course it's trying to kill you. It shuts down your liver.
Yeah, okay, good. So you are okay, so they did know that in the 40s. Yeah, don't overdo the liquor. Personally, I don't drink it because I think it tastes bad.
Now, you're going to tell me that the cigarette's no longer filtered with asbestos either.
Oh god, no, asbestos is actually super bad for you. Like, if they find out an old building has asbestos in it, they condemn it and they tear it down.
If only that was the truth.
One of our old houses had asbestos flooring.
Yeah, it turns out that stuff is microscopic to the point where you're like, when you breathe it in, your lungs take it into your bloodstream and it can kill you that way. It's actually really fucked up. I don't put asbestos in your mouth or be near it or breathe near it. In fact, just don't asbestos.
See, you're sitting there talking about the doom and gloom. How do you think I feel? My way of living's killed me. Or tried killing me if I did any of that shit.
Well, I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I mean, I'm presuming you're at least from one of the allied nations of the war. You did manage to win, and, you know, after the war, there was a booming era of golden prosperity for the nations that won that, so that was pretty cool. And then the Nazis... Then the Nazis came back a few years ago, and that's been a problem.
Oh.
Tell that to the Get.
The who now?
I would make a joke at the expense of them, but I feel like that's a little bit distasteful.
No, making fun of Nazis is always in fashion.
Did they remind them of the gas bill?
Since this would be something that you would know.
I'll see my...
The comment about the Get, you would recognize that as the cult of Fenris, who are now bad guys, but some of the people at the Cairn are like, but we're part of the Get, and we're not bad. And in fact, one of the people who works with Beats, because you would at least be familiar with his pack, is part of the Get. And they kind of have they're kind of seen as the very Nordic, but sometimes how would you phrase it? Kind of on the racist side of things.
I mean, you said Nordic.
Yeah. So it's like
Nordic in that way where they don't necessarily have ancestry there, but they think it's super cool and they completely misinterpret everything about that culture.
Yeah. It's great because I love people that are like, yeah, the nods, and then like go on spouting like racism and sexism, and I'm like, you do realize that was the most inclusive culture that we have seen to date. Like, you wanted to do a job, you proved that you could do the job. Congratulations, you're doing that job. Like, no one gave a fuck.
Yeah,
like
It's just
a
shame
person
that
was a person.
Just a shame that half the jobs was, hey, let's go over here and steal this stuff.
Only half of them. I didn't even think it was that many.
nah, that was.
I'm sorry, you do realize that like most of the economy these days is money that's stolen from someone else?
Absolutely.
Actually, no. It's this is new for you because this happened after World War II. Money isn't actually backed by gold anymore. It's literally just paper that we've all agreed on has value to it. There's actually nothing behind it anymore. It's literally all imaginary.
Ooh, wow.
Well, that was well.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, no, it was actually pretty good. From what I understand, like after World War II, apparently what was going on was the Nazis were stealing all the gold. So a lot of Allied nations put all their gold on a boat and sent that over to America. And then America had all the gold. And after World War II, a lot of currencies apparently, now this is my understanding of it, so this information may or may not be entirely accurate. Apparently, what wound up happening was a lot of nations were backing their currency with the American dollar because the American dollar was still backed by gold. And the French, being the French, decided, fuck that, they didn't like that idea. So they put a bunch of French dollars on a boat, sent the boat to New York, and said, hello, we would like our gold back, please. And America was like, well, all right, fine. Here's your gold back, I guess. And they gave the French their gold back, and the rest of the world all looked at it and said, wait, that was an option? And so a lot of other countries started doing that too. And then suddenly the gold reserve in the US wasn't quite enough to actually keep up with backing the dollar. So they stopped backing the dollar with gold.
Have I mentioned how much I hate it here?
Oh, no, it's great. We all hate it here.
Don't worry, there's an apocalypse coming. And it's going to come even faster if we're just sitting around talking about the gold standard. Now it doesn't exist anymore.
You have a point. Honestly, I'm waiting for this phone call before I move anywhere else because I'm not expecting good news back on that ring, and I'm not expecting good news back on anything else that I've told them to look into.
Well,
But
maybe now that Victor's caught up, we should talk about whether or not we're going to tell Claire about Finn.
You know what? Let me give her a call. And just, I'm really hoping I pick up the phone and don't get a, hey, guess what? Finn's gone missing. Fuck. And Wolfgang at that point will actually ring Claire.
Claire will
what
pick
happened?
up the phone.
Wait, what happened to Finn? There was a lot of information all at once.
Finn was the one that was asking about whether or not werewolves could speak to the dead.
Ah, right.
So the information broker, I don't know if I actually brought this up to you specifically, but the information broker queried specifically whether or not werewolves could talk with the dead. Because werewolves were at the residence of Timothy. And he is the only person that we know is dead, or that we have had a body for. But no one has spoken about said body Yet.
Okay.
Claire, have you got a moment?
Yes, what do you need?
I need to, I guess, run a query by you or fill you in on some information.
All right. Is it something we should be talking about over the phone, or?
Yes and no.
Understood.
So, we've currently got Dirk and Victor, who is the new arrival that the Wolves have been so nicely to introduce us to
Yeah,
at my place.
Beats filled me in on that.
Awesome. I'm waiting on a phone call back from my people in regard to some stuff, but would you rather us come there or you come here to have this conversation?
There's like a brief pause as she's thinking. Rufus and I can go over there. There's probably less ears over there as well.
Wonderful. And I feel like that would work best. I've already given you my address because you've got my card.
Yep. And I would
We'll
rather you not say it over the phone.
We'll see you when we see you.
All right.
And Wolfgang will just hang up and not so much toss his phone aside, but just like throw it aside, and he's just like hands are gonna come up to his face and just why I miss the days when investigation was as simple as you stop bang.
I mean, they still can be that way. A lot of police officers treat it that way. Nobody's really happy about it, but it does happen.
It wasn't social faux pas back then. It was, yes, he was a criminal. Write up the report.
Does anybody need a break?
I do need to use the restroom.
Okay.
I will go and fill my water.
So,
and have fun digesting all that information that I just like regurgitated on you.
Yeah, that's a whole lot there. I'm just gonna kind of be here. I'm just gonna follow you guys.
I mean, like, believe me, Wolfgang appreciates it because the more that Wolfgang doesn't need to worry about, the better. Not that Wolfgang can't handle himself, but that's beside the point. Like, Wolfgang is keeping up appearances over lanky dude.
No, it's listen, for all the information dump that you've given me that has stressed Victor out, it's been fine because he's been sure to return that to you in the way the modern world works now.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, have an existential crisis every 5 fucking minutes.
Hello, my name is Victor. My job is to protect Dirk, to help you solve this mystery, and also to bring you up to date on all of the most horrible information about the modern world. That last one is when I added myself. But I will be right back.
Yes. But yes, no, like, I guess more for, because Wolfgang personally at this point is like, yes, I'm sick of walking into that building.
I mean, there's only so many times we could walk there without it being suspicious anyway, but...
Exactly. And he has all this space to himself. And I'm now going to open up all these doors and slam them shut. Except I won't because, I can't. And yeah, no, like, so I guess sort of like the thing is like, yeah, you on your course of like comment like that things are sparse. He's living it good. The room that is immediately past the planter boxes, not the one that was his office, the one that's immediately at that wall.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look in there because that's not his stuff. And that's a door that's locked that he probably can't even get into himself.
Noted.
What's in there? What's in there? Junk. Like anything of note? I don't know. I haven't thought that far yet. However, comma, like what's in that room? Junk. Like it is literally like if I come over this door, there's just boxes and shit in there.
Yeah, it's
And
structurally integral junk. It must stay where it is.
pretty much, yeah.
I imagine that like they use that door as a way into and out of the hedge from like
Oh, more than likely. Like
you just
'cause
have someone
realistically,
walk out of there and it's like, wow, was that a forest on the other side of the door?
like I mean, because what's in there, like if I guess someone was to look in there without like it being apparent, like and at least as far as like Wolfgang is concerned, it is storage. Like there's boxes, there's crates, there's shit in there. When people show up that want to speak to him, they have various means of getting in this building.
A newspaper from 1938. What are you saving this for? Oh, it was a good day.
Look, it had his favorite crossword in it, all right?
It was the one that he solved in 5 minutes.
Okay.
So, welcome back. All right.
Okay.
I actually need to get up and refill this water. Instead of just waffling on one sec.
Anya dropped something.
So how are you doing, Wilhelm? Hanging in there?
I am doing all right. I've got a job interview coming up next week that I really need, and I'm really hoping that I hear back from a print shop here who was looking for a graphic designer. So I'm hoping that works out.
Yeah.
That reminds
How
me of
about
my
you?
NFT command.
I am currently freezing to death. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, we're getting big snowstorms over here, I guess, the couple of days here.
It it got really cold and windy yesterday, and yesterday was a trash day, so I needed to take everything out, and I waited too long, so it was dark and really windy and really cold, and it's like, I'm glad that it's me doing this and not someone who really doesn't like the cold, because I can handle, like, what was it, 30, 40 degrees yesterday and super windy. I can handle this weather. My mom, who thinks that, like, this 70 degrees is too cold, would not.
Yeah, I generally don't have a problem with the cold. It's just when it goes from 45 to 15 in 6 hours. Yeah, it's a bit of a change.
Oh, yeah. I don't mind the cold, but I do mind the wind. Like, the wind plus cold is like, oh god, it feels like it just pierces right through me. Just gonna sneak Claire and Rufus in.
Exactly correct, Lurzang.
Negative 20 C. We had temperatures like that at one point here. Everyone was losing their shit. They're like, Texas isn't supposed to be that cold. And I'm like, oh my god, I get to walk to the store and wear a jacket this time. And I walked to the store in a jacket, and the people were like, oh my god, it must have been so cold walking from your car to the thing. It's so cold outside. And I'm like, oh, nah, I live up there. What? Oh, no, I live up there. It was a 2-hour walk. Oh my god. And it's like, well, what do you want? I think I'll get a coffee. It's cold enough that I can get something hot to drink.
And I am back.
Welcome back. I accidentally closed the break time menu because I am a professional.
That happens.
Okay, so we are ready to progress, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so time has gone through, and you hear a knock at your door.
One of these days, or
It's the right one.
come on in.
Claire
Just-
and Rufus both step in. This is your first time meeting Claire, Victor. To you, like, both of them have something off about them. Rufus, who you can assume, is Rufus, based off of his much taller stature and, masculine appearance compared to someone named Claire. He seems kind of like he seems almost animalistic. And Claire, there's something dark about her. Not evil, but like a moonless night.
Morticia Adams. Got it.
Yeah!
Actually, you know what? That is a fucking accurate.
She's like Morticia Adams, but like a little, like trying to pass a little bit more like a normal person.
Just every time you look at her, she's got the vignette just going on.
I can't tell. I can't tell if
contacts.
I can't tell if that's her or if that's Wolfgang's apartment.
Under contacts, I can't do that. That's my brand.
My brand.
I got special eyes.
Just give me a minute. I need to climb on my TV. But Rufus, Victor.
Hello.
Claire and Rufus both like give you a nod. Rufus, you can tell, is very quiet, and Claire just yes. Beats told me that you've more or less been told to help with this, but I do appreciate the assistance.
Yeah, it's nice to get away from everything that was going on over there. And despite everything, most of this area outside of the cairn is much more familiar.
Yeah, I've heard that it's the first apocalypse over at the golf course,
They don't like it when you call it a golf course.
but it is a golf course.
Yeah, but they don't want it to be a golf course.
Mm.
They want it to be a mini putt range.
I'm pretty sure they would have killed you for that. And I'm kind of inclined to, actually.
See, the funny part is though, it's funny because it's no.
Listen, you keep that up. I'm going to tell you some other one of your hobbies is actually deadly and full of a horrible chemical.
Claire's just gonna like think for a moment, like how cocaine gum is actually really bad for you.
I don't.
Wait, you mean
I want to say cocaine gun was gone before his time.
That's
wait, you mean
true.
Coca-Cola doesn't have cocaine in it anymore? Like it was cocaine cola.
Nah, it hasn't had that for kind of a while. I'm pretty sure they stopped doing that before your time.
Maybe not around his parts.
Thank you for leaning into the joke. But all things considered, I don't even need to ask if you were followed or not. You have common sense.
And methods of making sure I don't get followed.
That too. It's about Finn.
What about him?
I feel he knows that Timothy's already dead.
You can tell that she like is curious on that and just
Well,
okay.
earlier today, like when it was actually just after we come back and reported to you after being at Timothy's, Dirk moseyed on over to introduce himself and catch up and, like try and just get the who's who and what's what of like what's going on and like this, that, and everything else, normal stuff. He openly queried if werewolves could talk to the dead by chance, if they were able to help with this, and we haven't. I don't want to say it's specifically Finn, but if Finn's been looking into this similar to Timothy, he could be next.
Which he
Now,
kind of. Go ahead.
I'm not saying that Timothy didn't. Sorry, I'm not saying Finn didn't do it, but the problem is Finn has knowledge that he shouldn't, and that in of itself could pose an issue.
Yeah, he's connected in some way, but that just means it's more dangerous for him.
I wanted to let you know that way if he goes missing, we have a next, like, we have a who's who and what we're expecting at the very least. He could be left alone. It might be a case of no one knows it's him, but someone's given him the information that's Timothy's dead.
You can tell that, like, this is a look that you would be familiar with, Wolfgang, that she has connected a couple dots. And she's like, was it just about werewolves being able to speak to the dead, or was it about, like, just that, and to speak to Timothy? Because I think he's been getting information about some people in an unrelated case where people have been dying.
No, he
And
just asked in the dead in general.
it might have been in relation to that. But I will keep an eye out to make sure that it's that and not related to this, because I mean, I'd say I hope that it's not Finn. I hope it's none of them, and that this was a wild goose chase, and that it's just some magical fairy that is
But
the
yeah,
enemy instead of someone who I would consider to be part of, the family. But I
yes, so very loosely, what I heard was, are they able to talk to the dead by chance to help with this? I only caught that portion. I didn't catch anything else. Like, my main concern is he knows something, which means there's probably more going on than we realize. If he does in fact know something.
will use my ability of being an ear at the warehouse to see what I can pick up. Was Zara with him by any chance?
Zara
Yeah,
was.
she was at the table with him while I was speaking with him.
I think that they're working on a separate case. As I said before, I usually just let, the people do what they feel needs to be done. And I think he was trying to solve something else, but it might end up being related to this, but it might not.
Well, if he's investigating anything in the same manner as Timothy was, then if we could make a connection, then whoever's doing this might think he's looking into them.
Yeah, mm, you can tell that, like, she's weighing options. She's like, I might just ask him to make a pledge. And that
The
if I can get him to
the
make a
other
pledge, he won't be a suspect anymore, and we can have him in the same category as Caroline and Jeremy, as long as he accepts it. But changelings don't like making pledges, and especially not when it's something that they could find accusatory.
the problem is, yeah, that, and again, this is just me not knowing Zara, it's not knowing Finn, this is my personal observations. She was reading the room. She kept to herself. She didn't say much. She more was seeing what people knew than anything else. Now, granted, she could have already filled in on the information that she knew and was just absorbing any new information that she got from Dirk and Finn talking. But from what I glanced at her, she didn't say much and she was just fly on the wall. So, again, nothing concrete, nothing like definitive, but
I will say this in her defense. She is the undercover operative. She kind of her job is to sit down with people and let them run their mouth.
oh no, I'm aware and I've seen the scrollings from Timothy, but
Yeah, and just I will
the
definitely keep an eye on both of them.
problem is there's 6 people and there's only one, there's realistically 6 people that we're looking at.
Sick.
Because yes. Because if it was either of your elementals, there would have been evidence at the scene. Burn marks, water. The building itself was broken into without someone going through a door. Now, be it a telephone line, be it TV, whatever, I don't know. But the locks were not tampered with, and when the werewolves got there, they had to break in. And that's when they'd already found his body. So, had either of the elementals got in there in that sort of manner, they would have left some sort of residue themselves to prove that they were there. The floor would have been burnt, or there would have been water around the doors, that sort of thing. The other problem is that I want to safely rule out your 2 ogres because he was bludgeoned to death by something, a weapon, not hands. I really don't think that they would have needed a tool to silence him if that were the case, considering one's already made comment that if they know who's going to track through the dirt, they'd sooner bury them alive than kill them.
I'm guessing that
Or
was
tracking through the flowers. The groundskeeper, that was,
Carter.
I get the names, Carter.
Yeah, either Carter or Jack. Both of them want to find out who's doing it. They're harmless, hopefully. Mostly they'll rake them through the coals if they find out who's doing it, and I think I know who did it and why.
The problem is, though,
But yeah,
is the potential. The problem is whoever last tracked through that has the potential to be the killer. Like, whoever did it is potentially the killer because of the fact that they went in after Timothy was dead. When you called everyone back, if someone took a shortcut and they cut through that, that's who it was. Like, I can't say that definitively. I'm sort of getting ahead of myself a little bit, but the problem is that there's a lot of things that will line up toward one person, and we both need to be very careful of that and mindful of that.
she she kind of like nods a little and like leans in. All right, so this stays between us. I'm
That's why I
pretty
didn't bring up.
sure. I'm pretty sure it
That's why
was
I
the
didn't bring it up.
janitor. The
Oh,
janitor, well, because he sabotaged one of the cases in the warehouse to get everyone to go to the warehouse, and I think he was rushing back so that he wouldn't be to try and make an alibi because he's clumsy, but he means well, and he did his job, but he doesn't like being outside for very long.
okay. So he did that for you, or
He sabotaged the crate to get everyone out of the main building so that we could talk in private. So he did that for me.
okay? Well, then never mind that. Then that's just
She nods and she's like, "Yeah, just
No, that's perfectly fine.
y- and with the house that you checked, she thinks a little. There was no forced entry at all,
Other
except for the
than
werewolves, of
other
course.
than the werewolves, no. Like they snooped around before we got there. I went and had a look at the locks. The locks weren't tampered with. Like the only forced entry was the back door that they burst through, to the point that the front door was still locked. I had to open that for us to go out the front door. Um, I did I bring up the van that was obscured? I can't remember if I did or not.
I don't
I don't
actually
think I
remember
did.
if you brought that up to her because this is the first time you've spoken. Actually, no, you did talk to her in person,
Yeah, we
uh,
talked to her. I'm
but
pretty sure we brought it up, but I can't recall exactly either.
Either way, I've got so there was a pair of rings that we had in our possession. I had them looked at by your who was it? It was the quality assurance woman,
Was
yeah,
it Penny?
quality assurance of inventory. So Penny.
Penny. I had Penny look at the rings that I found in the apartment. She queried the nature of them and how I found them, but it wasn't in such a manner that she was afraid of them.
Well, she was afraid of them.
Oh, I
But
mean, not afraid of them in the manner that she would get caught. She was afraid of them in the fact that there's a contract bound to those rings, and I'm currently having that looked into because the only real thing of note that was in there, other than like some like the photo that I showed you, was those rings, and she, I want to say she like kept a very clear head when we were talking about it. She didn't panic. She didn't sweat the fact that I was looking at these rings. She was concerned more for her own safety more than anything else, which is to be expected given the nature of what I found. Um, as far as that and the van, I've got people looking into that. They'll get back to me when they can. But I don't want to say it boils down to like Lily, Harper, and Ruby. And I don't want to say that like Sarah and Finn are completely out of it, or Penny's like not the one that's doing it, but like there's a lot of things going on, and just a lot of people at the moment have their own changelings, and their own paranoia is sort of getting the better of them.
and the fact that we have some peculiar powers. You can tell that she's been like thinking about it. Were there any mirrors around where Timothy died by chance?
Um, the bathroom was a room over.
Would that have a big enough mirror for someone to walk through? And yes, it does.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about like from the Umbra, any reflective surface, no
Well,
matter how big it is, basically.
it's not so much werewolves. It's some changelings have the ability to walk through mirrors and make portals through mirrors.
The night guard is one of them.
Multiple people actually are. And
Oh,
yeah,
lovely.
yeah, it doesn't boil it down too much. I actually also have such capabilities
It
because
was.
she like kind of gives you a shrug. Like, typically you want to have at least been reflected on that mirror at least once, though.
Well, so that brings me to the other point that I was actually going to make. For there to be, because there wasn't any sign of like a major struggle from Timothy when I looked over his corpse. So it's someone that knew him well enough, or someone that he was expecting to speak to.
Or someone that snuck in and got to him before he could notice their presence.
Well, that too. Um, the only the only major thing was the weapon that killed him wasn't there, and his phone was removed. Other than that, there wasn't like the only ransacking of the place was the werewolves that were doing their best to have a look around and leave stuff. Excuse me, leave stuff as best as they found it. It wasn't like from the time that I was in there wasn't much that stood out. I was tapping against walls. I was like looking for hollows, basically thinking like any typical paranoid um individual would. Like where can I hide? Literally anything.
You say hollows, and
And
she kind of like nods a bit. Yeah, I don't think he had any entrances to hollows in his house. She says in a different context.
Exhibit A, that door.
She kind of.
So yeah. I, the only four that I want to not so much rule out, but like if we need to talk to people that could potentially have no chance of being in this at all, we're looking at Milo, we're looking at Oscar, and we're looking at the two Reynolds. Like those four have at the moment, the least probability of being any part of this. And that's purely because I'm not like there's no definitive like reason to suspect them purely because of the way that Timothy was killed. The other problem is that Timothy, I want to say Timothy was done in a hurry. So we're definitely looking at someone that could get there and back in a period of time that wouldn't raise suspicions because either they already knew that you had werewolves on the way, or they were listening in somehow, or they heard them and left because the body was still there. It wasn't like they tried to abscond with the body anywhere. They grabbed the phone, which I'm guessing would have had proof as to who had done it, maybe. But they grabbed the phone. As far as we can tell, that was it. They got in there, they killed him, they left. And considering he was going to speak, we're looking at someone that's probably on edge. Or not even probably.
She nods and she's like, I think they might have not had the capability of taking the body with him. I think that the van was there as cleanup. And when they noticed that people were there, they kind of drove by instead. If I had to guess.
The problem is that the van checked by a few times, so if it is there to clean up, they've kind of given themselves away
Yeah.
because they have people following them now. Kind of.
That is why I kept it on the down low on what you and your network is capable of, and why I refuse to bring up anything on what you and your network is capable of.
Wonderful. But yeah, so The problem is the other thing is Lily, can she walk mirrors? This is more a me paranoid question. Can she walk mirrors?
Claire thinks I think I think she can.
How much does she actually know of why I'm there?
Claire thinks a little. I don't think too much. I since she's on the suspect list, I have been I don't give you the phone number for the receptions desk. I give you my personal number. So you never actually touch the receptionist desk. She would have the same clue as everyone else.
Does she have access to your office or a means to get in there?
No. Only Rufus and I do.
Okay. I'm just like not so much wanting to rule people out, but I don't know. It's not that I feel that she knows something, but like realistically, she's got the most probability out of anyone have any extra information on who I am or why I'm there. Being the receptionist. And I'm just wondering how much extra information she had and how easy of access it would be to not only her, but anyone.
I try to keep my office locked or occupied.
And right now it's locked.
And right now it is locked. And Carolyn and Jeremy are in the cafe near it, just casually talking.
Well, that's something at the very least.
You can tell that she's trying to like piece it together.
I mean, look, I've been here a day. I've only been scrummaging around for a day, so I'm not expecting the answers for you right away. I did want to fill you in on this, though, at the very least, because I felt that it needed to be brought up.
Of
Like
course.
because we're looking specifically at a closed room murder, which cliche as it is, I fucking hate it. And like we're looking at the fact that someone has come in there with a murder weapon and left with said murder weapon.
Yep, because it would have had fingerprints on it,
Other than that, presumably, but other than that, yeah, the big thing was wanting to just inform you on what Finn said. And again, it was mostly because if we suspect something and Finn's not the problem, if they hear the same hearsay that we've heard, Finn could be next.
Yeah, I will.
And I'm in no power, and I'm not about to go and openly disclose what we're doing by going and speaking to him myself. Because I have no reason to actually go and speak to him. I don't actually have any reason to speak to any of them, really.
Yeah, as far as
Penny excluded because of querying, and then it was more that I wanted to see if I could get a reaction out of her one way or another.
yeah, as far as any of them are concerned, you are there to um, show Dirk the ropes.
Yeah,
They
and that's been going great so far, and I don't think any of them suspect. But if Finn's asking questions, then maybe he also knows more.
he is an information broker. His job is kind of ask questions, and like you can
It's a
tell that
case
she
of
good.
it's a case of if we can guarantee that it's not him, and there is a safe and secure way that we can have a proper conversation about this, I would love to ring him for information. However, if he has the problem, I'm not about to go running after someone. It's exhausting.
She nods at that. So what you're saying is, if we had a way to remove someone from being a suspect, you would want it to be Finn.
If I could remove anyone, it would be Finn. Why? Because Finn is a confidant for anyone. So if anyone is likely to have heard anyone slip up about any of this, it's Finn. I'm also curious, more than anything else, as to the query that he made about werewolf capabilities.
Of course.
But
I do
and
have a method.
again, it's the whole thing of, if I'm suspecting him, or if I'm drawing this conclusion, someone paranoid that someone's breathing down their neck is going to look at the insurance, the insurance broker, the information broker that's nosing around after dead people. And when no one knows that Timothy's dead yet, even if there's other murder cases or anything else that he's looking at, they're going to jump to the natural conclusion of they're sniffing around at me.
Yeah, I do have a method. It I don't want to say it won't be pretty. He will not like the implication that I'm going to need to make of essentially asking him to make a pledge that he is on our side. No
I mean, if need
changeling likes anything that binds them down, and especially something that like this. But
if need be, I can help.
I
I would just
think
need him alone.
I think that he would be one of the better ones to. I think he would understand well enough that he won't be offended because he's in the information business. He would kind of understand why I would need to be that discreet and that assured. But it would mark him off of the suspect list, and if he is the perpetrator, it would find him at the very least. But I will work on that. And yeah, she kind of like gives a soft shrug, like, yeah, this isn't going to be fun, but
Well,
Again, the offer will remain open. If you need a hand, I can do what I can.
I have a question.
yes.
Go for it.
Since he still believes I'm learning the ropes, and I am, but what if I were to ask him for information on the recent disappearances? Sort of probe out of a concern for myself. I've heard others have started to disappear. Look into maybe if he knows anything about it. How safe are we? Should I actually start running again? You know,
She
maybe
thinks a little. Well,
yeah, maybe the direct approach here would be better than asking him to sign himself to another contract, because I know I will never sign another contract like that again
this is less
unless
a
I have to.
contract and more a pledge, and the difference is that a contract is, at least with how a lot of us had it presented to us, ended up being very one-sided. This is two-sided. Uh, it removes him entirely from being a suspect, and the people that he says he is protecting, he simply needs to promise that he is protecting them, that he
And
is not working against. Like, Carolyn will probably be the one who makes the pledge because she is a lot better with people. I'm better with she like kind of shrugs office work than dealing with the actual dealings with a person.
I understand that. But I think that if we were to push too hard, then he might think that there's something worth looking into to investigate. If we were just to let me ask him questions, do some light probing, then it might just seem natural, come off as an actual natural interest.
I mean, I'm not entirely against it. Like, if you feel that you can do it without, I don't want to say raise suspicion, but if you feel that you can do it and make it feel natural, that's another avenue that we can take. Because the problem is while you're asking him, I can still be around looking at things and keeping an eye on where people are and all that sort of thing. And we've also now got Victor here he needs to be filled in on his new life now. So it won't necessarily hurt for him to follow along, in the sense that, like, any information for you is information for him, and we can label that as, like, the werewolves wanting to be concerned as well, in case it bleeds over into their numbers or any other political bullshit reason that we can come up with.
Yeah, but that's
Well-
what I'm thinking is just going to point to Wilhelm. It's like he is the
Point to Victor.
concern. Yeah, to Victor. He is part of the concern, which is what's going to sell it, because he's also a Garou who will have plenty of information to answer questions. Something is a trade, but the idea of being able to ask to sell this might be better than forcing him to pledge and binding him. Yes, it means he's not the one, but he's still in just as much danger, regardless if he makes the pledge or not.
Yeah.
True enough.
And I feel like I should bring this up. She looks at Victor and she's like, if you ever come by the warehouse, just say that you're from Bidawee. They'll let you in.
From Bidawee?
That's the name of the golf course.
Okay.
Don't call it a golf course.
It's literally the name of the actual golf course. It is why I chose Norfolk. I was like, I don't know where to put it. And it's like, well, I mean, Norfolk, I remember like going near there many years ago and I just see Bidawee golf course. I'm like, that's a cairn. Sorry, we're going to Norfolk.
Ida wee woo.
But yeah, so I mean, Victor, you've kind of been thrown in the deep end, and
Oh
I
boy, it's real
apologize.
deep.
I apologize for this. Like, I don't want to say feel free to tap out, because you're kind of stuck with this now.
I don't think I
or
am free to
else-
do that, no.
No, you're not. Believe me, you won't outrun me.
Well, all I wanted to bring up earlier was that, like, if Gamma wanted, or if Dirk wanted to approach him and talk about just how to keep himself safe, I can go with him. Part of the reason I'm here is to help make sure he's safe, and that's actually true. I'm not sure how much lying to. I don't. You're not. You're not Faye. You're.
Oh
What's
no,
the word?
each of us are Fae.
Okay,
Well,
okay. I'm not
part
sure how.
Fae now. Changelings are technically part Fae, right?
It's
Yeah.
I don't know.
it's
You literally have a like an option to turn into a fae if you get enough weird.
like you're not lying. You don't need to worry about them like peering into your eye and peeling that apart and ripping your face off and all that nonsense and the superstition and all the bullshit that's in modern media.
Good. I do like having my face.
Generally, you're going to be the one ripping faces off, but
I-
I digress.
Yeah, no, I'm the only one allowed to do that.
I digress. In the fact that, like, would you be able to get away with telling someone that's looking into the fact of whether you're lying or not, you saying that you're here to protect him and, like, being it truthful? For all intents and purposes, yes, you were telling the truth. Now,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
if they peer more into it and it's more of a probed question, that's where it gets a little muddier. But are you protecting Dirk? Yes. Am I
Well,
showing Dirk
saying-
the ropes? Yes. As like, am I showing Dirk how to get back into society? Well, yes. We were just at the mall. I was, shopping and all that crap, and clothes and food and all that crap, reintegrating with society, even though he stands out like a sore thumb. Yes. Now, while that's not our explicit
Sore
purpose,
thumb that needs some moisturizer.
not everyone can look as good as me. Anyway,
I didn't choose to look like this.
no, you didn't. That's the worst part. The problem, like the problem, only comes in if they probe. As far as like passing questions and like if they can see into a lie or not. I mean, if someone's exceptionally good at it, yeah, sure. But for the idiot that's come from a golf course that's here to protect someone that the werewolves see as, kinfolk and all that and everything else, you're fine.
Wait, did you
You-
just call me some idiot?
And Claire looks at Victor and she's like, "And if they do probe, you can just tell them that you're not at liberty to say because you are part of the Cairn. While you are allied with us, we do not technically share information about everything freely. You are allowed in, the main section of our freehold. Uh, Taking you deeper in would be questionable at best." And she looks at Rufus and he kind of like gives a shrug, like, "I don't know, it might be dangerous." She's like, "So, if you want, at some point, we can try to take you in a little deeper, but
Wolfgang is just shaking his head. No.
Yeah,
just
because-
like right over her shoulder. Absolutely, you do not want to do that.
because
No, there's
we-
no need for that.
yeah, and that's the thing is like if we ever need to go to the Goblin Market, and I don't think we will. Like, obviously, it's more a matter of I don't know how your mind would handle it, but we have a lot of people on the other side of the physical realm that work for us, and that's why we can get away with such a small building.
Let me preface this with he hasn't taken well to any of the information that he has been given in regard to this whole situation
Oh, right.
over the
he's
last
new.
few hours. He is new. That
It
is
has been a very-
horrible fucking idea.
It has been a very rough couple of hours. It's been fine though. I've been sure to destroy as much of Wolfgang's perception of the world as possible in return.
Yeah, but it's purely the fact that the Garou don't share information. That's what I'm betting can buy us some answers if he's got any. And all I'm saying is we can always fall back on the pledge. Just we shouldn't burn that opportunity for information just to write him off the list.
No, and I do agree with you. Like if we can get some information out of him this way, it's great. If we do need to drag him in by force, whatever, we have ways. Like with the 5 of us present, if it becomes a problem down the line, if he hesitates at all, we've got enough between us that it won't be a problem. So if worst case scenario, if you suspect something and he is the culprit, it's not going to make it impossible.
I mean, and like Claire thinks for a moment. I mean, we've got, what, 2 imitation werewolves, 1 real werewolf, a detective, and me. Yeah, I think we could. I don't think that Finn would be able to do much. He would need to be able to run really fast.
You would need to outrun a cheetah to be able to outrun me. I'll put it that way.
Victor's
Good
just
luck.
hung up on the phrase imitation werewolves.
Does he ask that?
Not yet. like she says imitation werewolves. He just kind of like, wait, what?
Wait,
he
they're
has
fake
that.
ones?
He just kind of like has that look on his face, like he did not understand what just got said.
Well, she said 2 imitation werewolves and a real werewolf. So,
Presumably, I'm the real one.
I'd like to inform you that I'm the real werewolf in this situation.
sorry, you're the investigator, Victor.
You've been demoted to Gumshoe. Have fun. With changelings, we have.
Oh no, he
Oh,
doesn't
fair
say
enough.
anything out loud. He just looks confused.
Oh, okay.
So he wears the same look he's been wearing this whole time.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay,
except a little bit more so. It's like he got hit with a rock while he was thinking.
Oh. Hold on, you might burst a vessel if you hold that face a little longer.
Nice.
You should take some Tylenol.
There's medication in the top cabinet if you have a headache.
Not yet, but I'm
it's
getting there.
It's because it's Wolfgang's place. You know, it's the good stuff from the.
Oh shit! Have you got the opium?
Did
you buy this from a real snake oil salesman out on a cart somewhere?
No, unfortunately, you have to settle for the chemist down the road.
Bought it.
Let me guess. Is it right behind the Panzer chocolate?
How did you know? Remember, painkiller is the one with the blue lid. Cyanide is the one with the red lid.
Oh, that's a problem. Wait. I think I'm colorblind now.
But does it do the Greenland Iceland switch? Cyanide is the one that says, painkillers on it, and painkillers is the one that says cyanide on it.
So, no, it's even better. There's no written label on any of the bottles. They've just given you that information. Cool, you're safe. No, you're dead.
I love the idea that I open the cabinet and there's a bunch of bottles, but they just have like card suits and numbers on them.
What's this one? Oh, that one's Eye of Newt. Don't worry about it. You're a witch now? No. It's a literal Eye of a Newt.
Are we talking like literal Eye of Newt? Or are we talking like the old Eye of Newt that's actually just pepper? Oh no, those are real eyes. Okay.
Oh yeah, if you ask Claire for any of that stuff, she'll be like, "Oh yeah, I got you covered. I have a whole bunch of things that I can."
Yeah, just walking over the cupboard. Now, do you mean actual eyes, or are you meaning mustard seeds? No, the mustard's label is mustard. The Eye of Newt is labeled as Eye of Newt for a reason.
Perhaps a goblin fruit that tastes like Eye of Newt.
Ah, no, you can buy a real eye at the Goblin Market.
But yeah, like, are you in danger? No. Are you safe to lie to people? Yes.
Good. I can use my usual customer service tricks then.
Like,
is it really lying if he doesn't understand what's going on anyway?
That's the joy of it. Because if he doesn't know, he doesn't know. And honestly, I'm fully expecting all this information that you've received to have been forgotten by morning. It's not a side against you, it's a side against werewolves.
I don't think that's better.
I resemble that remark.
One person in this room doesn't resemble that remark.
And Claire, thinks for a moment, is it me? or is it you? Because I know that at least 3 of the people in this room are of the fluffy variety. Or
Hi.
I mean, not exactly fluffy. It's stone, but
It's
the thought
fluffy
that counts.
adjacent.
I mean, it's close enough.
Fluffy shaped.
Friend shaped.
Yes.
Friend-shaped obsidian.
hmm
Friendly glass.
So, any other questions, information? I guess while you're here, Claire, if you want any of the information that I've collected, looked up, any of that, Wolfgang will actually point over to the room over there. That's my office. It is a mess. Excuse it. Organized chaos. If you want to look over anything any of the notes, anything you want to make records of them yourself, by all means, they're over there.
All right.
The room further back in the corridor, don't worry about that. The room immediately to your left, don't worry about it. I can't even get into there myself for good reason. But yeah, if you need anything, by all means, step into the study. There is no in and or out of that room. It is candles, it is drawers, it is paper. For good reason.
she kind of, yeah, I know organized mess. She thinks her desk was quite an organized mess itself, from what you could tell. She knew where everything was, but like hell if anyone else would.
I mean, yeah, considering she was digging through piles of paper to get the folder that, Wolfgang had asked for that she'd apparently only just received and it was buried under shit. Yeah.
Yeah. She may or may not overwork herself. Like, remember,
Yes, that's important. Let me file that away over there for later. Where the fuck did I put it?
Filed
that, and she
literally
didn't
under
want someone
important
to like
messages.
walk in and pick it up and be like, "Oh, what's this?" Or to look at it and be like, "Huh, what's this?" So she kind of did stuff it under a few things.
Oh, well, yeah, but it's still funny.
Oh yeah, I mean, you asked her for information, and she got as much information as she could in a very small amount of time. There's a reason why she's the one that there's a reason she's the one that handles a lot of the information at the warehouse.
Hmm. So I think that covers up just about everything.
And if I get any further information, I will let you know. I think, at least for tonight, we should probably lay low a bit. If we keep snooping around, people might get suspicious.
Personally, I won't be looking into this until I hear back from my people.
Yeah.
I want to know about those rings and I want to know about that van. If I can get that information before I do anything else, because I would actually like to know what I'm getting involved in. Because this is bigger than what was being paid for. And, well,
Don't worry. We will increase your pay.
I'm not worried about my pay.
I know.
I'm worried about the other side of it all.
You're not worried about your pay. You're worried about the Fae.
Yeah.
A reasonable thing to worry about.
More than reasonable.
Yeah. I would say I think that there's only one person in this room who hasn't been fucked over by the Fae. But he is working with us right now, so
Give it 5
Only a matter
minutes.
of time.
yeah.
Oh boy, there's still a chance.
Just Victor in the corner. Oh boy, I can't wait for that to happen.
Rufus gives you a thumbs up.
I'm just not going to sign anything ever. I'm probably not going to shake hands. I'm just
Victor, can I have your attention?
no.
Yeah, I mean, they got me by asking me if I needed a ride, and I got in the truck. That's it.
Oh, never get into a stranger's. Come on.
I know that now.
Look, mine was as simple as, how would you like your life to be saved? Yeah, great. How many years later?
Claire gives
You
a
look
shrug.
great for your age.
Claire gives a shrug. I was offered a new job.
I mean, you've got it.
Yeah. A lot of paperwork.
And I look great for my age. Why do you think I'm gray?
Because they didn't invent color until the 50s.
It's gonna say on your life saved. Yeah, they saved you from the asbestos and the smoking and everything we were just talking about.
The lead paint,
Yes.
the lead in the gasoline, that was also bad.
What, now you're going to tell me there's no lead in bullets anymore?
Oh no, bullets are still made out of lead. They're supposed to kill people. That's their job. Just, don't chew on them or something.
Sorry, why? Just gonna start doing shots with bullets.
So,
Trying to think on if there is anything else that she would know and would bring up. Claire does bring up. She's like, yeah. Beats did say that he had one of his pack mates. Like you could tell that she was trying to dance around words for a bit until she realized, like, yeah, I know the people here they would understand. He said that one of his pack mates was going through the Umbra, and that for the most part the spirits were kind of vague. They couldn't really get information, so uh, the thing is, I don't know if we should check out the house later, see if anything pops up, because my thoughts is if the van is driving around and it's possibly there to, like if they're doing it to do cleanup, will they leave anything behind? And of
Honestly,
course,
I'm of the mindset of trying to catch them in the act.
yeah. And as far as I know, you have multiple methods of escape if anything bad happens. She says before thinking for a moment, looking over at Victor, do you have any fast methods of escape?
I can run kind of fast for a little while.
Noted. Like you can tell that she is.
Listen, I've never really thought of myself like when I have the fight or flight response. I know that I'm not super fast, so I just kind of fight.
Generally, when needed, Garou make their own exits.
Yeah.
Doors are a suggestion.
She thinks for a moment. Yeah, that was Timothy's back door.
Was.
Was.
But I
My
don't have any like magic. Well, I do. I can make some fog. I can make it hard to follow me. I guess that's kind of what I got going for me.
I mean, Never underestimate the power of obscuration.
Yep.
I mean,
They
if you can only see in black and white, and suddenly there's a big thing of white in front of you, guess what? You
Did
can't
I
see
those-
can't
shit.
tell if you're making fun of me or yourself.
Did those who brought you up to speed show you anything about the Umbra? How to travel to it?
Mentioned it a couple of times, but I hadn't interacted with it a whole lot. Just that's where my clothes go when I do that right.
Understandable, and not too far off normal. Plenty wolves don't apparently like the Umbra.
Is that like actually like the afterlife or not really?
It's just as far as I understand it, the other half of the world.
Huh. Are you
Can't-
able to
can't-
go there?
Kind of like
Nope.
that hit new show on television, Stranger Things.
Yeah, and no, as a kinfolk, I am not gifted with the ability to travel there. No kinfolk really can.
No,
Oh.
but changelings have our own way of getting somewhere. We can slip into the hedge, and it is unpleasant. But when the option is get captured and possibly tortured and killed, or retreat into a Fey stronghold where it is a maze, sometimes you have to wonder which one's the worst option, and sometimes it is the hedge.
And sometimes you choose a gun.
Yeah, no.
Guns are usually pretty good at making problems go away.
So are 10-foot tall werewolves.
I've been informed that the 10-foot tall werewolf is one of the problems that a gun is not generally very good at making go away. However,
So, not that he really like makes a display of it. Wolfgang has a cane with him at all times. It's purely decorative,
Mhm.
and to the point, like the design of the cane itself is very decorative. He just sort of gives it a tap. That's what that's for.
a stick.
Silver.
Yeah, no, just you keep that one over there, please.
Why do you think it's encased?
Don't worry,
Do you
Victor. In human form, you have silver immunity. In human
Okay.
and wolf form.
you have silver immunity once.
Well,
Yes, you have silver immunity, not blade immunity, not death immunity.
well, yeah. You have silver immunity. It doesn't burn you. It doesn't cause aggravated damage on you. However, getting shot by a silver bullet will do the same thing to you as it would to any other human.
That's what I'm saying.
You are immune to silver, not the gunshot.
You're immune to the silver part, but not the bullet part. She will think a bit and just, okay, so I guess if you do need any help, Jeremy's not the best fighter, but Yeah.
We already have a contingency plan.
okay. As long as
Beats has given us help, which is kind of why I want to catch them in the act. Because the problem is if you beat half a dozen people within an inch of their life, or 5 people to death, the person that survives is generally pretty open to talking. Because damn, that shit hurts, and they don't want it to be them next.
yeah, and Carolyn has ways of making people talk, and I believe you do as well.
I most certainly do.
I think all of us do here.
she
Just how many bones are involved.
she kind of gives a shrug. And, I don't know what you're talking about.
Most people are really attached to their fingers. They do like those a lot.
Most
The
people
problem
are
is it's not how attached to their bones they are. It's how attached to their bones they are.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you have definitely gotten a lot done today. I'm hoping through the time that I've been doing it, I was at least able to narrow it down to 10 suspects. Um, and like, I do agree. I don't think it would be the elementals or the Reynolds. Um, both of the Reynolds, I honestly think are mostly all talk and no bite when it comes to actual um stuff, because the groundskeeper kind of has an affinity for loving their flowers and reasonably gets upset when uh things happen. But I think that saying that he's going to grind someone's bones to make soup is a way of speaking and not an yippee. Is a just a way of speaking and not actually a threat. Um, when it comes down to it, I would hope that it's not Penny, because she is the QA of inventory. She kind of knows what is enchanted and what is not very quickly. The thing is, um, at the very least, don't write anyone off entirely just because whoever we're dealing with is at least cunning enough to cover their tracks. And so there's
Well, no, and I agree with you on that. It's again why I kind of want to end up back at Timothy's and instigate something, because you're only as cunning as your weakest link. And I can't imagine that everyone that they're working with has the fortitude or the planning that they do.
yeah, and if our intel is correct, and I'm hoping that that's what your intel will confirm or deny, um, whoever it is working with Pentex, and Pentex has a lot of grunts. And Victor, you would know what Pentex is.
Yeah, I've heard of those assholes.
And that's
Yep.
why the werewolves have been getting involved.
And I'm like, yeah, I believe me, I haven't written anyone explicitly off yet. I'm just more diverting my attention toward the other 6 because there's more probable cause there than the other 4. And that's really all it is. But
Yeah. I there's a lot of there's a lot of reasons on why some of them would do it. And it's one of those things where you don't want to ever accuse someone that you've worked with of something like this, but sometimes you just kind of, well, in a case like this, I'm sure you understand why I have to question people that I have known for years.
I guess the next protocol is to just see how the next 24 hours or so unfolds.
Yep. And if any of you need anything, you can give me a call. She pulls out a business card and hands it to Victor because like she barely knows Victor, but Victor is here to help. And so she gives just a normal business card.
All right.
If you need any assistance, you can give me a call. I'll see what I can do. If if you have any concerns, even something mundane like um she tries to think and she's like, I don't know. Um if you need a doctor's note because you won't be able to get to work on time, we can get something together. We have official doctors who can give you an official note.
Okay. I'll be sure to do that if it ends up coming up.
Yeah, I would rather it not, but I
Yeah, me
mean,
too.
I'm of the mind that a lot of the people that want to live more normal lives, I'd rather them live more normal lives.
I'm not sure I want to live a more normal life. I'm just not sure I'm ready to walk away from what I've already got, I suppose.
Well, understand when I say a more normal life, I mean not having to go to a goblin market and see what kind of trades you can do and see if you can get back someone who traded too much with the goblins and all the fun stuff that comes with all of that.
When we
And
say normal life, we're meaning like still living the way you are. Like I'm by no means normal, but I'm living a more normal life than say Dirk here. Like Dirk or Claire or Rufus, they're still dealing with and handling, at least on their part, and he gestures to Claire and Rufus, Faye shenanigans on the regular. That's their life now. It's only mine when I need to intervene. Other than that, I live a normal life. I only am brought in to intervene when I need to. And for some people, that's just what they want. They come back, they manage to find their family, they catch up with them, they find a way to work at not only covering who they are, but just living as how they were and not letting circumstances dictate how or what they're going to be able to do. So, like you, not wanting to leave your family, even if just yet, that's still just wanting to live a quote unquote normal life.
Yeah, well, this is the new normal, and what I need for the new normal is a beer.
Fridge.
Victor's just kind of turning the business card over and over in his hand, just
it is like just a very normal business card that is just like
Oh, no, 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 no. He's not like inspecting it. He's just kind of fidgeting with it.
it's just like
And
Claire
I,
Bourmont.
I guess the next other thing, anything that would have a price associated to it, because paranoia of Faye, hi, what's yours is mine. If there is a price to anything, it will be translated to you in a way that you'll understand it. For the most part, you like requesting help. Don't worry about there being any like catches to it at all. You're helping us, that's already payment.
Well, as kinfolk, it's my job to help wherever I can anyway. So, you need anything, just ask.
I'm gonna try not to be too much of a dead weight around here.
Believe me,
Claire chuckles at that. I don't know if a werewolf can be dead weight. in
Yeah, that's
situations
something
where
they
people
normally,
go
say
missing.
to kinfolk.
You, she like kind of, you could be completely untrained in combat, have barely an understanding of how to do the werewolf thing, and you will still mop the floor with many of our fighters. So I wouldn't worry so much about how about being dead weight, because at the very least, if things turn sour, you are able to turn into, from what I have been told, a 10-foot tall, fluffy death machine with murder paws.
I mean, yeah, but my understanding was that kind of the whole goal here was to make sure people weren't dying.
Well,
I'm sure you've seen any manner of cop show.
Yeah,
When does that actually happen? It's all well and good for that to be the intention. However,
I'm sure that Timothy loves that sentiment you got there, bud. But it's a bit late for that now.
Yeah, fair.
we're not going in here expecting to murder everyone that we see. Like, yes, the idea is to bring them in alive. However, I wouldn't have reached out to Dirk. I wouldn't have reached out to Claire if I felt that I could have done this without the need to watch my back. If it was a matter of getting in, getting out, getting the information that I needed, and not involving anyone ever, I could have probably done that without anyone's help. This is an instance where having a lot of varied individuals and tools that even ones that don't know how to use them, varied individuals with varied skill sets is going to be critical to this. So believe me, you won't be a dead weight.
All right.
There's plenty of room for you to not only sharpen your own skills, but to work out what you have and how to work with it.
and
We've
fresh eyes,
got,
Dan. Go ahead.
and yeah, as I was about to say, you're another set of eyes. When we go there, you won't have looked at the same things that Dirk and I will have. You'll have a different perspective on things to the werewolves that were there prior that looked at it. You might turn up something we didn't. So, like, don't rule yourself out.
Oh, I'll do my best.
I'm more than happy to poke fun and jest and all that, but, like, the problem is that, and I mean, it's more serious for werewolves than anything else. Don't doubt yourself. Because that's when it becomes a problem. And not only for you, but for people around you, because hesitancy kills. If you feel it's in the best interest to make an action, do it. Let me worry about cleaning up the aftermath. That's my job. That's why I'm here. So, if you feel that there is a course of action that you want to take, we can discuss it. If you need to act on an impulse, do it.
Yeah, if
All
nothing
right.
else, if something bad happens, your guys' safety is top priority, and any method you take to ensure your safety will cover.
Like,
But
y-
within the
y-
bounds of the litany.
She shrugs. I don't know what the litany is.
you're involved with this now. So, like, even, I mean, like I said, you should be safe here. There is never a definitive you are safe. That being said, you're not exactly in danger either, but you get my point. Like, don't feel that you need to forego doing something or do something extra. your involvement is more than enough at the moment, especially when currently we don't necessarily have a direction that we're going. And again, like I said, I'm planning on seeing if I can't instigate something when we go and snoop around the house next.
Okay.
Having someone that's a little bit more combat forward, and again, like Claire said, even if you don't have the training or anything else, an extra pair of hands is an extra pair of hands.
Yeah. And I guess since I'll be at the office tomorrow, when you do go to the house, I'll be checking to see if anyone seems to be acting suspicious about it.
Like
Sounds
I said,
great.
keep an eye on Finn because however he's connected, and
Yeah,
that puts him in more danger than some of the others. So keep a closer eye on him.
yeah. That is, because I do not want to call up someone to help escort someone back to the office, only to find out that apparently someone hit a home run on them minutes prior.
Hmm.
But I guess that'll be it for tonight. I hope you get your phone call soon. But I guess we will. I I will be probably doing this all night, but it's not suspicious for me to sit at my desk and mull over papers all night. Um, but yeah, we can start again in the morning.
Sounds like a plan. Now, Dirk, you don't necessarily have a place to stay at, do you? Can't remember if they gave you an apartment yet.
Well, I've got the room back at the freehold, but
Well, that works. I was just going to offer if, like, you, Victor, need a place to crash here. That's fine. I'll work something out. If not, go home. Get some rest. You need it.
Yeah. I think I'll do that tonight.
and so we'll touch base in the morning then.
Yep. Claire just kind of like thinks a moment. Yeah, just do be careful because just like how they might be wondering about Finn, they might be wondering about you. They are likely wondering about me, but it's hard to go after people in higher positions without raising suspicions. If I go missing, that'll raise alarms for everyone, which would be bad for everyone, them and the rest of the freehold, but she shrugs. I'd be able to find out who did it.
I mean, yeah, that's one silver lining, I guess.
Yeah, I will see you all in the morning.
All right, thanks, Claire.
Yeah, it
No,
was good meet. Yeah.
she like gives a small bow and walks to the door. And if there's anything you guys would like to do before we wrap up,
I do have a question.
yeah.
She did. She was talking about imitation. What's an imitation werewolf?
So,
Dirk's just gonna laugh.
changelings like myself can take different visages. Some of them, you would have heard me make mention of, like ogres, the elemental, so forth. They all have different seemings. Yes, that's the correct terminology for it. I'm not getting it wrong.
As far as I understand.
If I remember correctly, let me double check. Yeah, they have different seemings, and they have a mask that covers the seeming.
So, like for example, Rufus. Rufus is
No, they're means.
sorry, the mean.
Let me.
Right. The seeming is
The seeming is if they're an ogre. The mean is what they actually look like, and the mask is what they look like when the Fey magic protects what they actually look like.
so. Let me just do my best to explain this. So the likes of Claire, she from memory is a darkling.
Yep.
So she's got that very Wednesday Addams thing going on of, look at me, I'm more noir than the noir detective. There's people that have a more bestial appearance, ogres, elemental, this, that, everything else. Imitation werewolf, she was referring to Rufus and Dirk, and unwittingly skipping over myself, but that's a whole nother thing. The long and the story of it is we have an appearance that's not what you see. Fey magic actually disguises what we are and how we look so that we still appear normal. Kind of like shifting for you, but nowhere near as stressful. I want to change clothes, I go and change clothes.
Yeah,
But-
look at me. I have a whole wardrobe I can use.
I do actually. It's right through there. And it's a
Let me
very
guess,
nice
it's all-
wardrobe, actually.
Let me guess, it's all shades of gray and black, isn't it?
You'll be pleasantly surprised.
Well, I know. I guess I just got to look in the room. Oh,
Holy
wow,
crap,
there's brown in there, too.
there's purple.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of look behind the couches. Oh, there's colors in there.
Yeah, I know.
Huh.
It's don't
Yeah,
ask
no,
about the bath. Don't ask about the bathroom. And like the flowers, and like the purple. Like so, purple is prevalent along like the design of Wolfgang's cane as well. Like I'm my emote artist is actually in the process of like sussing out like how it actually looks, and I can't wait. But yeah, like we have who we are and who we are. It's a bit like we have names, and for all intents and purposes, I'm Wolfgang. You don't know my actual name, and that's just how it stays with the Fae. Dirk's name's not Dirk, but like that's his name. That's how everyone knows us, because names have power. And even like a handle like Dirk or Wolfgang, it's still power.
But the thing is, the mask is just that. It's a mask. I have to wear it outside, just like you can't shift anywhere outside, not without risk of breaking the litany.
Should I come up with the false name to working around here?
You'll probably be fine.
Their interest in you is probably minimal at best, and if they were going to do if they were going to do something with you, they'd just abscond with you. They wouldn't go through loopholes and try and like take your name or anything else like that. For us, it's a little bit different because we've already had that happen to us. So
Well, that's
like the contracts and the powers already there.
That's the thing is, being Garou, they can't really do much to you unless they want to actually try and kill you, in which, well, I'd hope you try to murder them right back.
I'm not usually a fan of throwing a fight.
Yeah, like, do you need to worry about it? Not really. Is it good information to have all the same? Yes. And like, if you have any questions, like, even if you feel that it's a stupid question, like, feel free to ask. Even like, even me, I don't know everything. I'm still very black and white on a lot of things. Pardon the pun. Because I'm not that, like, I'm still relatively fresh outside of my service, so to speak. Like, I haven't been back in society all that long. So, like, them having me help the new guy back out with Dirk, it's, it's familiarizing myself as much as it is him.
You
So,
you ask about imitation werewolves, but for people who don't ever have to deal with what our kind went through, they wouldn't understand. Otherwise, we'd just show you.
like, they wouldn't understand the difference between, say, you and Rufus. Both on the surface would look like a werewolf to the normal person. There is a huge difference between the pair of you.
Huh. So is that mostly just it then? It's more just the shape and none of the other everything else behind it then?
Uh, there are
Fey bullshit that comes with it, but
there is some things like, yes, we like, beasts still benefit from claws and so forth and all that, but like weakness to silver and resistance to things, no.
well, yeah, and you have your rights, your gifts. We have contracts. They're different, but they're the same.
And like, a, a good example, and this is one that's actually relatively common knowledge, and why a lot of people acquire my services in this sort of regard to Fey magic. So it's something as simple as, if I were to turn off the lights in the room and we were to need to sneak out, I could hand all of you a piece of black fabric, we could tie it over our faces, and that would be enough to constitute me letting you in on that Fey magic, which would obscure you and everything else. There's certain rules that need to be followed for us to go through the gifts that we have, but in doing so, there's also ways around it, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because usually the magic is taxing, but if you go through extra means, it's not as taxing. It's complicated. It's a pain in the ass, believe me. But it's one of those things where, and like I said, we've all got tools. You bring stuff to the table that Dirk doesn't. Dirk brings stuff that I don't. I bring stuff that you don't. And that's where our strength currently lies. Because anyone that actually does take problem with us, whether they come at us with force or not, they don't know what any of us are capable of. And the fact that we all, I mean, outside of my little trick, which isn't that hard to work out, like, we all don't know what each other's tricks are. We know the bare minimum, and that's about it.
But see, that's what specifically worries me about this whole case. Is, as far as I understand it, every changeling's different. Nobody really knows what anyone's capable of, and yet people keep disappearing. So, all the same, probably best to at least trust in each other for the time being.
I mean, by working with me, you're under my protection. It's part of my flaws, so to speak. if that makes sense. I am contractually obligated to ensure your safety, the both of you. You have said you are helping. That is enough to bind my hands. So, trust aside, you have my help.
All right.
Well, just do your best to relax and
Which,
adjust, because we're going to be getting to some interesting things tomorrow, I assume.
Oh boy.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
oh boy.
Oh, what we were gonna go investigate Tim's place again? Well, you were going to go visit. I'll see it the first time, but
Yeah, again, we want to speak to Finn, but honestly, I would like to investigate that house again because I would like to see what you bring up.
okay.
Yeah, so Wolfgang gets his phone call. In the morning, we go to Tim's, take another look.
And what Wolfgang will actually do is he will give you Tim's address now,
Okay.
so that's so it's a simple case of, hey, let's go meet up, and there's no other information that needs to be given.
All right. I guess, was there anything else?
No, well, I don't know. Get some sleep, think on it. We'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, Dirk's gonna
Look,
head out.
as rough as this all seems, don't worry. Like, just think, this has all been happening behind the scenes while you've been living a normal life.
I mean, it's not really all that reassuring to say, hey, that elevator you've been using every day hasn't actually been inspected in 30 years, you know?
You have a fair point.
Yeah, but you've made it this far, and now you know what you're up against. So welcome to the fight.
Yay.
All right, Wolfgang, I'm gonna head out. I will swing by in the morning and pick you up, and we'll head to Tim's.
Sounds good.
I suppose I'll see you at Tim's then.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, unless you'd rather walk there, or walk here and there. And there's no point driving here and then there in one car. It's gasoline kills the environment.
It's
Damn
true.
straight. All right.
Anyway, have a nice night and try not to eat any of the paint chips off the wall. Yeah, I've fallen into the void.
He became a voidy woo.
Oh
He
no!
took a walk off the map.
Oh no! The apartments are only accounted for Wolfgangs. Oh no!
Just that single letter A.
Fucking just so I'm sure it was just you clicking around and having a moment where you open the door. Like the fact that the fucking door to that room opened up, if it is a case of if that room opened up, Wolfgang would have been back at attention immediately. Just how long have you been in there?
I mean, anyone who could get in there would have a lot of explaining to do, or Wolfgang would immediately know who they are.
Well, no, like, and it's just a case of how much do I need to forward onto you now? Also, because it is bothering me that Wolfgang doesn't have his own apartment fucking lit up. I'm going to fucking get the lovely unquestioned the lovely room that no one saw and we won't ask questions about opened up, and he's just going to go over and fucking over the bathroom so that that's just lit up as well because it's bothering the crap out of me.
I mean, technically, I can see.
Oh yeah, no, I know you can set the vision for everyone to be like not obscured and all that nonsense.
Oh no, it's not even that. It's I can do something like this.
See, that was even more terrifying. just dude floating through wall.
I mean, it is Dirk.
Don't mind me just passing through.
Apartments.
I'd be
Apartments
more
haunted.
I'd be more concerned of his beats because it's like, yes, that's now 4 walls I need to replace. Awesome. How do I
no.
explain that?
Beats doesn't give the party vision.
No, I know.
Werewolves in the walls are going to hurt the resale value.
I don't know. I think some people would pay a lot more for werewolves in the wall.
That's fair.
I just love the idea that it's like you see Dirk just plowing through the walls, just leaving huge holes through them, but it doesn't look like he's charging through them. It looks like he's being pulled by a rope around his waist, just dragged through them.
Just
the start of The Incredibles.
The
start of The Incredibles when the dude gets thrown through the office.
No, but really slowly.
But yeah.
Yeah, that is that, as they would say.
Yay.
So now everyone is able to go and sneak off for their own things, and I will start the raid.
Woo.
And
It's
yeah.
actually
right back.
Awu.
Awu.
No, it's just woo because we're doing partial woos, remember? Short woos.
Oh no. And
Well, I'm the imitation woo.
Oh, I see.
You're allowed to do a woos though.
I see. I'm the only one allowed to for the full awoo. I have the premium letter A.
the premium letter A.
And
no, hey, that's mine.
And
no, see, I'm like there was one joke that was missed, and I'm honestly surprised. It's just holy crap, we can talk. You don't need cue cards. The fucking
I thought about it. I was this close.
Yeah, the silent
but no, but
I was always music.
No, that because the 1940s they had talkie films at that point. That was my joke was the saxophone, the noir saxophone.
Yeah.
I was gonna make the joke that his apartment is above a jazz club. That's why there's just always just jazz music in the background.
I mean, it quite potentially could be.
The left door is actually a frosted office door.
That was why he went to it. He's like, oh yeah, no, this has got to be his.
just Wolfgang, private investigator.
It's like when Claire walked in, I was half expecting Dusk to be like, and so a dame walked in, shadow that stretched on for days.
It was going through my head.
She had bad news, I could tell. Dame like her always does.
It is a case of don't tempt him.
Just go full noir. Come on.
And Dirk was actually dragged through all the walls, Like Key being dragged by his tail.
Yeah.
Arms crossed, sitting on the floor.
In his obsidian form, so you just hear.
But yeah,
Fucking ruined his floors, though.
Oh yeah.
We'll be right back,
Just
though. I need to use the
great-
restroom.
Great big claw marks right through the floor.
I'm going to sneak in the raid and end the stream there. So, we are going to raid Varric tonight.
Who is doing Lethal Company?
And is a weewoo.
This is correct.
That is the raid message. Use whatever fancy emotes you want. I'm going to switch to the talkies screen so that I can unmute his stream. Okay. And take care, everyone. Enjoy your night.